about to begin.
Presented by Front Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon. Joined as always by my wildly handsome co-host, John Luke Garofalo. Our friend Coop with us, a.k.a. Coop A. Fiasco. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show, brought to you by Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined, as always, by my very handsome co-host, John Luke Garofalo and Coop A. Fiasco. What's up, boys?
What up?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, fellas.
We got some people in the chat.
Hey.
That one was a little bit painful that came out. There was like some feelings that I haven't worked through, and that oi right there that came out. Yeah. It was just like
that's like the one producer Keith would do right now while he's sick. Just like
oi. We got Tommy in the chat saying, despite all the haters, I am still thankful for the Raiders.
Oh, adorable.
I'm thankful for the Raiders too, Tommy. Every time I see their jerseys, I get a little bit happy. And man, JL, this is like when you and your sibling are sitting there and like one of your parents cook dinner and the other sibling goes, "Thanks for dinner, Mom." And then like you have two options.
Yeah, thanks for dinner.
Look like an asshole and don't say thank you, or look like a copycat and an asshole and say thank you, right? Like those are the only two options.
100%, and that's exactly what I was going for. I was trying to beat you to it. I thought you might have gone there first, and I was a little afraid. So
I'm also me, Tommy. Also grateful for you, along with
there was a third option that I opted for there, which was to look at Twitter on my other screen while you guys sorted that out.
I'll try that one next time. Next time my sister says thanks to something, I'll be like,
he just pulls out his phone.
What?
Just tweet at your mom and be like, "Well, timestamp. I actually."
She can't prove it.
Yeah.
Just say thanks, Mom, on Twitter. She doesn't have Twitter. I'll just tag at Mom, and it should work. I think
at Jolly Rancher.
At Jolly Rancher. Guys, how are you doing this morning? Everyone doing all right?
Doing good.
Yeah, doing great, dude. Phenomenal. We're back on the show. Dude. My favorite holidays tomorrow. My favorite one.
Thanksgiving's your number one holiday?
Number one, boy.
Number one?
And dude, and the thing is, I have another holiday that it couldn't be more perfect for me personally, in that my birthday is May 31st. Memorial Day is always the last Monday in May. That means that I always get a 3-day weekend for my birthday forever.
That's awesome.
So Memorial Day is dope. But
shout out May birthdays.
Shout out. But I gotta say, man, Thanksgiving is the king, dude. You got family, friends, football, beers. I don't have a lot of responsibilities. Most people take care of that stuff for me at this stage of the game. So I get to go hang out, eat food, man. Like Thanksgiving's my favorite. And I get to hang out with a couple of my best good buddies and all our good friends here tomorrow morning from 7 to 10 a.m. talking ball with the boys.
Yeah.
Does it get much better than that? I think not. And on top of all that, Patriots are playing.
Yeah.
That's true.
Coop, you know what? You put down a pretty solid argument for Thanksgiving as the best holiday. And Tommy in the chat agreeing with you said, me too, hands down, no obligations, just ball and food.
Beautiful thing.
That's what they call me, is ball and food.
Ball and food.
My old, yeah, your girlfriend said my old ball and food. So, what about you guys? What's your favorite holiday?
I think Christmas would be it. But it feels like a cop-out. It feels like everybody answers that. Thanksgiving's always felt a little bit like Christmas light. But I know everyone doesn't celebrate Christmas. So I like that Thanksgiving is like, everybody can enjoy it.
You could always just call it, say, like the holidays, and include everybody else.
The holiday season, the winter holiday season.
I think and the thing about it, there's no shame in picking Christmas, right? That's one where it's like, it's cool though. And that's like people are like, what's your favorite flavor? You can pick chocolate. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to pick the chalk on that one, right?
My favorite ice cream is vanilla. like no shame, a good vanilla ice cream is better than most of those weird flavors you can throw stuff in. Like a real good vanilla is the bomb.
Disagree, but I respect you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
John and Pemba. John and Pemba is the same way. It's the same way. And it's definitely a strong take. But I will say this: there are some vanillas that are so gross. The ones with like the little black stuff in there sometimes are like.
Oh, you like the French vanilla where you can see
the
actual
know.
like.
I like that. There's ones just with like little black dots in there, and it's not good. It's not good.
That's the vanilla itself. That's what there's like actual vanilla in there. They'll chop up the vanilla and get that in there. Yeah. It's like I don't want any of that real vanilla. Give me that artificially vanilla flavored ice cream, and that's where I'm living.
You guys have any like Thanksgiving traditions that?
Hold on, Simon didn't tell us his favorite holiday.
You're right. Tell us, Simon. What was your favorite holiday?
Let me give some explanation before you jump in with anything. I'm gonna go with Halloween, but the reason is it is so versatile on what you want your plans to be. If you tell your friends, "Oh, I'm spending Halloween with my family. I'm gonna help them pass out candy," no one bats an eye. They're like, "Oh, of course." If you tell your family, "Oh, I'm spending Halloween with my friends, so we're gonna go to a party," no one bats an eye. There's no nothing. Know what I mean? So like, it truly is the no pressure holiday to me that whoever you want to spend it with, you get to spend it with them. Everyone gets to put on costumes, which is so much fun. And then like the joy of people, like children just getting unbelievable amounts of candy is hilarious. That's like a tradition. Like that's funny to me. But I think what does it for me is the zero pressure aspect of Halloween.
You can also park your car down the street and shut your lights off and just sit there and watch like Netflix in the dark too, if you want. If you want.
That's true. If you wanted to.
Yeah, if you want to. That's 100% an option right there. Tommy went Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, Super Bowl Sunday. So our individual threes are Tommy's top three right there.
Yeah, Maria in the chat, Thanksgiving 101. It is 101, man, especially because like, and you get Friday, you get a long weekend, dude. And I also include the Wednesday before Thanksgiving where you go to a local bar, collect all your high fives from the boys, you know? So Thanksgiving is a extensive holiday for me.
That is a big thing. I've never done that, but I did learn about that after college. That like a bunch of people, all from my hometown, or like everybody gets together on Wednesday.
Amateur night, dude. You know,
they all go to the bars. So
sort out all the fights you didn't get done during the year. You know, it's a real smart night. Now I noticed Tommy didn't no 4th of July on the list. No mention of 4th of July. How do you guys feel about 4th of July?
Not a big fireworks guy, so not a fan of the 4th of July. Like fireworks aren't the best to me. Now I will say I've had some great 4th of July's. My uncle has a house up on Lake Erie, and whenever all the cousins get together, we used to do this every year. Like the whole extended family would get together there, and that's fun, right? But that was more about just spending the time with them. Still don't like fireworks.
Oh, I love 4th of July. My dad has like a bay house in the Chesapeake Bay. And they used to do like the neighbor used to go in Connecticut and just buy like thousands and thousands of dollars of fireworks, put on his own show right on the beach. So it's just like right above us. It's pretty wild.
That's sick, dude. If what Fantasy Dog just said in the chat is true, Yahoo is truly behind the times. He said, "Hey gang, Coop, Yahoo put Fields on can't cut list yesterday, and then the dude has a separated shoulder. Is that true? Did they really do that? And if that's the case, I mean, like, I was always in favor of disabling that feature, but like you got to now, right? For your league, like you got to allow people to cut guys if they're going to be hurt and out. I'm going to take a look at the can't cut list because if that's true, that's kind of a joke, man. I was just like, that's like such a classic Yahoo move. Yeah, Yahoo, he is on the can't cut list. Wow. That's insane.
I'm gonna have to hit up my friends at Yahoo, see what's up.
Dude,
see what's going on.
The biggest mistake ever from Yahoo that was like, dude, my stomach sunk is when I played fantasy baseball and Jose Fernandez passed away. I got a notification from Yahoo that said Jose Fernandez has been moved to the IR. I was like, who the hell pushed that notification through? Are you kidding me with that, dude? Like I was upset with that. That was absurd. Like what a joke sometimes for that site. You know, I know sometimes the stuff's automatic, but my goodness, they got to get somebody that can edit that stuff immediately and prevent that stuff from happening.
Dog said they did it last week with Cup. It happens. We'll have to see how that gets updated. Simon's having some technical issues. But Coop, I think we can get right into our favorite morning segment, BYOB, bring your own breakfast. So we bring all the news stories. You guys bring the breakfast.
No Simon. Oh, I was about to go Coop in the Hogs.
Coop in the Hogs is almost unlocked.
My browser.
Someone almost unlocked the hog pen.
Mr. Cool had the glasses right
He
here.
was halfway.
It was happening, boy. Yeah. Fantasy Talk goes, damn.
We were this close to going way off the rails.
Let's keep it on that roll. I'll pretend like I'm not here if that's what we're doing.
No,
I want to play. I want to play.
Simon's like the parent that comes and like catches you drink under a tree. He's like, "Give me a swig."
He like, yeah, give me a swig.
Don't tell your mother.
Simon popped back in, and JL had the chocolate syrup over his head like this, and he's just looking at him.
Just like looking at him.
Like, we weren't doing nothing. I was just making sure the cap was on.
The worst time I ever got caught drinking when I wasn't supposed to was when we stole all my friend's dad's O'Douls. So we drank all his O'Douls. No one was getting drunk, and then he found out because all of his beers were gone. He was like, "Yeah, I bet you guys had fun with your non-alcoholic beer," and none of us had any idea until he said that. Like we were in trouble, and we drank non-alcoholic beer.
So you did it for absolutely nothing,
for no reason.
Well, you guys are probably pretending like you were drunk a little bit too. Just like sober girls around me, they be acting like they drunk. They're like,
we were just screaming doses and mimosas at the top of our lungs running around. That's exactly what we were doing.
That's a party, bro.
Are we
wobbing?
Are we bringing some breakfast right now?
We're bringing some big old breakfast.
Can I start us off today since you did
Please.
the intro, Jay? I got something I want to talk about. I was laying in bed last night scrolling around, and this quote came up from the 49ers on NBCS. This came from Charvarius Ward about DeAndre Hopkins. He said, I'm going to read the full quote because like there was just a little snippet on Twitter and it didn't give the full context. He said he was doing some dirty things. He tried to clip me. He grabbed me by the throat. He grabbed my face mask on one play. So I don't respect his game. That's steroid boy. That was from Charvarius Ward on DeAndre Hopkins. He ended it with, I don't respect his game. That's steroid boy.
That if you have ever watched DeAndre Hopkins, like he is the king of like pushing back on these DBs and getting separation that way. He's like the OPI king because he never gets called. He
gets away with it. But that's a real skill, man. Like there's certain guys.
It's a skill, yeah.
Yeah, there's certain guys that know how to do just enough. You know who else was amazing at that was Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson was like he would touch you just enough but not like extend. You know, I mean Jerry Rice too. Like I think
that's part of the game as far as I'm
concerned. Figure it out. Honestly, I have a theory that Julio Jones is like just like such a pure guy that he refuses to do that, and that's why he didn't score more touchdowns. Just like he's just a true. He refused to get in there and play that game when he probably should have.
It makes sense. I my favorite part about this quote is that like Ward seems more upset that he grabbed his face mask than he grabbed his throat. Like it went in the order. He tried to clip me. He grabbed me by the throat. He grabbed my face mask on one play. It seems like it's escalating, but like, dude, I'd be a lot more upset about the throat grab in the middle of a game.
Dude, when somebody grabs your face mask, that sucks, dude. When somebody hits the top of when somebody hits the top of your helmet, it's so loud. I hated that when my own teammates would do that. I'd be like, you make a good play and they smash you in the head. I'm like, dude, no. Save the head smashing for those guys on the other team, please.
Snaps, guys. Come on, snaps.
Yeah, like how about a high five, dude? Like, what are we doing, dude?
I think the nickname's funny, and I can see it sticking around, Steroid Boy, because of the suspension. And like people love a good nickname, know what I mean? And whatever.
It's not even good.
They love a nickname. Like people
hilarious.
Love a nickname, and they're gonna start throwing that at DeAndre Hopkins.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite sports nickname? Like for
the fridge. I'm gonna go classic. Refrigerator William Refrigerator Perry is about as good as it gets.
I can't think of a single other one now that you said.
I'll give you some time to think. Mine is The Truth for Paul Pierce, and a big part of it's because I'm a Celtics fan, but the other part is how he got the nickname. Did you guys ever hear that?
No.
When he was a rookie, he played against either the Magic or the Lakers, and it was against Shaq. And Paul Pierce had a crazy game, like an amazing game, and they asked Shaq about it after the game, and Shaq said, I want you guys to take this down right now and don't leave nothing out. That boy is the motherfucking truth. And that's how Paul Pierce got the nickname The Truth. He said, don't leave nothing out.
That's bad.
Yeah. That's a cool. That's what made The Truth such a cool nickname. But the fridge, the fridge.
That is awesome.
Yeah, man. Tommy in the chat, Carl Malone, the mailman. That's
the mailman.
The mailman.
The mailman. That one's up there for sure. Yeah.
Megatron's
always delivered.
Megatron's got to be up there, right? Like Megatron is that's a cool one.
Black Mamba.
The Black Mamba, bro.
That one's sick.
Yeah. What about the White Mamba? That was Brian Scalabrine.
Oh, I know what it is. Here's the best nickname. It's a recent one. Vanilla Vic.
Vanilla Vic.
It doesn't get better than Vanilla Vic.
Yeah, that's a strong name.
Guys, there's some big. It's finally here. Maryland sports betting goes live at 9 a.m.
You guys get how many times did they tell you guys that it was going through over the years before it finally actually did?
It passed. I want to say it passed the last presidential election, I think.
Yeah.
And then they said it was going to be ready by the next football season. Yeah. And that was not true.
Because that keeps happening
by the
here.
Beginning of the next football season.
Yeah, it was like 2 years after that. They kept pushing it.
It keeps happening in Massachusetts where like I'll get news and then I'll reach out to John and Pemba, and because he's the editor at Fantasy Alarm, he's also here. He's plugged in that stuff, and he'll just be like, nope, not yet.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, this, and this needs to happen. And the number of this, and this keeps getting shorter, but we're still not there yet. So hey, I'm happy for you, dude.
I think at 9 a.m. we got to make a bet. The three of us together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Official.
5-leg parlay. That's definitely going to hit on Thanksgiving.
Let's do it.
Let's put together a Thanksgiving Day 5-leg parlay. If it wins, JL, you get money. That's how it works.
I mean, gambling's illegal here. I'm not allowed to bet, and I would never break the law.
Yeah, I'm right here with you, Coop. I would not either. The only way you can legally gamble in Texas is at one of those sketchy poker rooms on the side of the street that have the billboards up that you pay a private entry fee to. Have you guys seen those? All the poker houses?
No.
They have like card rooms, and as long as it's a private club, you're good to go, man. You just go in there and you pay per hour for the seat that you want, and then you can keep on playing.
I love a good loophole. I remember hearing about a bar that it was like in a state where smoking inside was banned except for live performances. So every night they would have people sign this like list, and then they would like they would say like, this is the cast for the show tonight, and then everyone at the bar could just smoke cigarettes.
That's awesome. There was something like that in Clemson where they had a bar called Top of the Tavern above one of the other bars, and it was the only place in Clemson you could smoke inside because it was a private club. So you had to be invited by a member to go up there, and then you paid like a $25 lifetime membership fee, and you were allowed in. But because it was a private club, they were allowed to have different rules over there.
That's pretty
over
Maria said snaps. She goes, if I saw that on the field, I'd die. Can you imagine if you saw some football players just like, good job, bro. Good job.
That would be the funniest touchdown celebration. If everyone on the team just got around them and like did this, like
that is good. Yeah. We should send that to one of the players. Be like, plug this for your next one. She also said, as a Giants fan growing up, we had thunder and lightning. It's true.
That's good. True. That's good. Yeah. And producer Keith, Jerry West, the logo. I mean, you can't beat that because the NBA logo is based on Jerry West. Like, so that's a cool one too.
Guys, also yesterday, we haven't talked about this yet. Darrell Henderson was released by the Los Angeles Rams. Released, no longer on the team. I was a bit shocked by this because I thought he was the best running back on that team. Coop, were you surprised by this news? What does it do for the other running backs there in LA?
Dude, so I have been shocked by all these. I'm wondering if there's something in the CBA or something that we might have overlooked, because can you guys remember a time when anybody was really released just outright for almost no reason, the way the guys have been this year? Like, it's not that often that you see guys like this just getting the axe. Like Eno Benjamin, Melvin Gordon, now Darrell Henderson, and there's been a few of these where people just like cutting these players outright. I don't know. I'm wondering if something's different this year, or some maybe related to last CBA where there's some benefit to it? Because it just seems crazy to me. I don't know.
It does seem like a little bit out of the blue, and that we were getting multiple of them.
And they're
it doesn't usually
good.
Happen.
They're good running backs. You know what I mean? It's not like the back of the roster guys. It's guys that have been getting work throughout the season that have been like contributors to their team that are getting cut. You're right, Coop. I feel like this is odd. There's something odd going on.
Think about it. With 53 players on the team, like there's a number of guys that are on the roster that hardly ever play. And those are usually the guys that get cut. And it's usually because they want to add somebody. It's not usually a dude that plays like 50% of the snaps. Like what? It's just very strange to see this happening this year, but I don't know. You guys super interested in anybody else? Any of the Rams running backs now?
I think you can pick up Williams. If Akers is out there on the waiver wire, he should. Yeah, Kyren Williams. If Akers is out on the waiver wire, he needs to be rostered now. And I know probably in about half of leagues out there, he's sitting on the waiver wire. Maybe not after yesterday. After waivers ran, the news did come out in time for people to get those waiver claims in on Cam Akers, but they both need to be rostered. I'm not too interested in either one of them. This seems like the ceiling is back-end RB2 for either of these guys, and that's if they take the full workload behind this atrocious offensive line.
Yeah. Kyren Williams, like looking back, he would have been better off if he just didn't show up to the combine, to be honest. Like there was a lot of hype around him, and then he showed up. It's like you can be undersized and you can be slow, but you cannot be both, right? And he weighed 194 and ran like a 4.6. Like he should have if he just skipped the combine, he probably would have got drafted earlier than he did,
Yeah. You got to know. You got to know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and then play it up. It's a game, man. It's a game. Sell yourself right. We had a question come in here. This one from Eric. Eric said, "Morning, gents." Good morning, Eric.
Good morning,
PPR
Eric.
redraft, not thin on any position. He's thinking of rest of season, currently sitting at 6-5. He said DeMarcus Robinson and Treylon Burks on waiver. Would you drop Hardman, Khalil Herbert, or McKinnon, or too crazy? And should I just go back to bed?
I dropped Hardman.
Yeah, with him on IR, I'd be down to drop Hardman as well. Coop, what about you? I'm sorry, go ahead, Joe.
I think he might. I think he's slated to come back like week maybe 15 or 16, but he's just not. He hasn't been as like he had that little run there where he was maybe the guy there, but I'm not going to hold him until the playoffs, and I'm probably not going to play him in the playoffs.
Yeah, you can also drop Herbert.
I think I would go big and add Burks. Like go for the mystery box. 7 catches for 111 yards last week. And I tweeted something yesterday. Last year at this exact point in the season, Amon-Ra St. Brown was wide receiver 70. Rachaad Penny was a running back 123. Over the remaining games, Amon-Ra St. Brown went from wide receiver 70 to wide receiver 2. Rachaad Penny over the remaining games was running back 4. The guy that actually won Best Ball Mania 2 had both those players. He won $1 million. There's a real possibility. And it's not just those guys, like Devin Singletary, Gabriel Davis. These guys over the second half of the season were league winners. So there's a real possibility that Treylon Burks does come out and he crushes. I mean, Odell Beckham Jr. was hurt to start his rookie year, started slow, then it was fireworks. So I'm definitely taking shots on guys like that. I mean, like Khalil Herbert. What are you going to do with Khalil Herbert? You can drop him too. Grab both those guys. Who cares?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Drop both the guys on IR and pick up both of these wide receivers. DeMarcus Robinson, if we're being honest, I'm not wildly interested in. But for a guy that's gotten that many snaps and that many targets over the past couple of weeks, you got to add it. Like he's worth just adding to see. I don't believe it's the truth, but I'm down to find out on my bench and then cut him later. Treylon Burks, Coop, he's a rookie wide receiver, like you said. It is not abnormal for rookie wide receivers to break out over the second half of the season, and he's back healthy. Like this, it's on schedule, man, for how these things work a lot of the time. So I'm picking him up to see if all the preseason hype about the talent of this kid turns into fantasy success over the back half.
First round pick, 6'2", 225. His best comparable player is Jordy Nelson, the guy we already mentioned on the show. You got to add that guy right now after he has a 100-yard game.
You got to add that guy.
You gotta. Guys, Raiders, this is for Tommy. This one is for Tommy. Raiders trademark Win City as their next slogan.
Win City.
Wow.
Win City, bitch.
It works in Vegas, definitely. It would have been funny if that was their trademark in Oakland. It's like not a lot of wins. Not a lot of wins lately, bro. But in Vegas, Pretty dope. Pretty dope. What do you think, Tommy? You like Win City?
He said it's kind of lame, but it's growing on me.
It just feels like maybe now is not the best time to have trademarked it, but I get it. I think it's fine.
You gotta go for it now. Know what I mean, Joe? If they would have waited, someone else would have taken it. The trademark was available. You gotta grab it now. You can't wait till it's convenient, right? You take the egg on your face. You let people mock you for a little bit. Yeah, people are gonna roast you, but then you have that. And you know what? I bet they could do some pretty fun stuff with that. Like, it's a slogan that they can do some fun stuff with. And Tommy down here, in case anyone was missing the connection, Sin City, Win City.
I was missing the connection a little bit. Now it makes a lot more sense.
I always think whenever anyone says anything city, I just immediately go into Rack City, the song.
Rack City, yeah.
Rack City, bitch. Rack City, bitch.
Dude, I gotta say, the coolest team move slogan right now. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this. Have you guys seen what the Sacramento Kings are doing with the beam?
No.
Dude, it is the best, bro. They went and got this. They got this giant laser beam, and whenever they win, they light this giant purple laser beam over the stadium. And dude, they've won 7 in a row, and the fans are going crazy. Like, every time they're like, light the beam. They have a player. They pick a player from the team, whoever had a good game. They get him on the mic and they go, light the beam, and they light this big beam. And everyone's calling them the beam team and all this stuff. Like,
keeps kind of sound like you're saying bean, and it makes it a little funnier.
The intern that came up with that idea, they like hired a kid in this college. He's like, okay, so I got this idea. Let's get a giant purple laser. And they were like, okay, we'll try it. Like this, like, and now it is like, he's the hero. He's like, you did it.
Yeah, it's like the best marketing I've seen in a long time. Chosen Rose in the chat. Fire the laser. Like, the memes have been amazing. Not the fact that they just keep winning too, dude. Like, my goodness, dude. 7 straight wins. Well, since they started doing the beam thing, they've been unstoppable. The beam team.
The beam team. I love that.
Oh, it's so good. Just type in the hashtag beam team and look at some of these memes that people.
There's got to be some beam team merch out there, right? Because I got to get some. That is my next purchase.
We need a laser.
Just a beam piece.
I'll just set it up in my office, and whenever we want to launch it, it'll go straight into my eyes, and I'll get completely discombobulated.
You just fall off your chair.
Just every time. Like, I have to turn it on myself as well. So as I turn it on, it just throws me back.
You're blind by next football season.
It's all good. I can watch football.
It's all good.
Do it for the show. Do it for the beam.
Do it for the beam, dude. Don't
do it for the vine.
Don't just let your beams be dreams.
I swear, do it for the vine was like, my mom didn't understand what that meant, so we just kept saying it to her every time we wanted her to do something. Like, do it for the vine, mom. Do it for the vine. And eventually she just embraced it and started saying, do it for the vine back. Like, she was like, are you vining me? Are we vining right now? Oh yeah, we are vining so hard right now. Guys, I saw a quote yesterday that I wanted to bring up from Albert Breer, something he picked up from quarterback Justin Fields. And I want you to think about, like, as we go into this, think about whenever Zach Wilson was asked if he let the defense down at all. Okay, so I want that to be fresh in your mind. Zach Wilson was asked at a press conference if he let the defense down. Albert Breer said, Bears quarterback Justin Fields apologized to his teammates after Chicago's loss to the Falcons in the locker room post-game. Told them the defense gave the offense a chance and the offense didn't get it done. Went a long way with the guys after he'd played hurt. So Justin Fields went into the locker room after injuring himself in the game, and his defense gave up quite a few points. Don't anybody say, guys, I'm sorry. You did enough to win this game, and I didn't finish it for you. Like, this dude gets more and more likable every single day. Like, he is slowly becoming like my favorite player in the NFL, Justin Fields.
It annoyed me so much whenever everybody was making the Trevor Lawrence versus Justin Fields arguments, when they were coming into the season. Because I like Justin Fields a lot. I like them both. They're not mutually exclusive.
Right. Both players can be good. And we're seeing that now with now all of a sudden it turns out, hey, you know what? Like, Tua and Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts, all pretty good. All pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be one guy sucks, the other guy's good. Though in this case, Justin Fields kind of did, like, Zach Wilson is just like standing there riddled with bullets, all hunched over. Justin Fields just stepped on his back and just jumped and did a windmill dunk, right? Like, this is the exact opposite of what Zach Wilson just did, right?
Yeah,
like, they asked him,
no.
He said no.
And then no one even asked Justin Fields. And his defense did way less than Zach Wilson's defense did. Know what I mean? Like they gave up like 27 points to the Falcons or 30 points to the Falcons.
Zach Wilson's defense led up 3 points, bro.
3 points.
The touchdown was special. The special teams let up more points than the defense did.
And Zach Wilson's like, no. And Justin Fields like, guys, even though I seriously injured myself during that game, I let you guys down.
It was
a leader. That's a leader.
It's a leader.
It was windy.
Where do you guys think Justin Fields gets drafted next year? You think he'll be a top 10 QB?
Yeah.
Think he'll be top 5?
No, not top 5. There's too many good guys up there in the top 5 for him to go.
Top 5, top 10.
Let's do a quick draft right now. If you're just quarterback draft, fantasy football, 4-point passing league.
Everybody healthy.
I'll go.
Can I add a caveat real quick about Justin Fields? I think if he did not have this injury, I expect it to affect the rest of his fantasy numbers. I think if he did not have this injury, we might be talking about him in the top 5.
We're assuming everyone healthy next year. I just teleported us.
Right. I'm talking about the perception of him because of the injury. It'll change his perception, even if he is perfectly healthy going into next year.
We're time traveling to September, putting everybody through the heel machine. I'm going first. Josh Allen. You're up. You're up, Jail.
I'll go Patrick Mahomes.
It's a good pick.
Well, that's fair. I'll go Jalen Hurts.
Fudge.
Yeah. So those are the top 3, I think, pretty solidly. I will go with,
Kyler Lamar, or Herbert.
I think I will go Lamar Jackson.
Yep, that's where I would have gone next. Luke.
I'll go Herbert.
Okay, and then I guess that leaves me with. See, this is where that line is.
This is where
now we're
I think
talking Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, and Justin Fields. I think are like you can look at all of them right here. Like I'll probably go. Man, Joe Burrow's looked really good over the past couple of weeks. So this offensive line has gotten better. He's getting chased back. I think I would go Burrow, but I think Justin Fields would be next for me. But it's not my pick next, so I'll go Burrow.
I'll go Kyler.
And now it's like you got to go Fields or Dak Prescott, or the wild card would be Deshaun Watson, maybe. But we don't know what he's going to look
depending
like.
What he does the rest of the season.
If he's like the thing about Deshaun Watson is that every single time he's played, he's been a top 5 quarterback. So yeah, but I think this is where I would take Justin Fields. I think I would take him over Dak based on, especially because I'm assuming they add some weapons, right? You have to assume that they do something there.
Oh, they're going to get a receiver in the draft. I see Tommy and they're saying the same thing. Bears get a speedy receiver in the draft. Fields explodes. They have to, right? Like they have to go get him a receiver.
Yep.
Something to go opposite of Darnell Mooney that isn't named N'Keal Harry or Equinemius St. Brown.
He said speedy receiver. Tommy did. I'm thinking you go the opposite because Moondog is pretty fast himself.
Yeah,
like Darnell Mooney's actually really fast. So I'm thinking you would go with a bigger split end, right? And that way you have somebody to tether their foot to the line. Right, you have a split end on one side tethered to the line and a tight end on the other side, and that lets Darnell Mooney play flanker and move around and go in motion. So I would try and get a prototypical big dude. Like imagine Mooney across from a Mike Evans or any of those larger.
I'll just stop on that one. I'm going to stop on Mike Evans and just imagine Justin Fields, Darnell Mooney, and Mike Evans on the same field.
Speaking of Mike Evans,
I got to get a Fields jersey this offseason. It's happening. I'm getting a Fields jersey.
Bronson in the chat asks, do I trade for Mike Evans or Amari Cooper? Speaking of Mike Evans.
Ooh, you know what? I think the answer is Amari Cooper. I think the answer is Amari Cooper with the volume that he's been getting and with Deshaun Watson coming back in 2 weeks. Both of these are great options, but I would rank Amari Cooper ahead of Mike Evans rest of the season.
Yeah, I think I would too. They're definitely in the same tier, though.
This discussion kind of shows whether you're a conservative gamer or a risk taker, right? Because the conservative pick is Mike Evans, but the tantalizing upside of Amari Cooper with Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Hard to pay. If you're already out here wheeling and dealing, you might as well go for broke. Go for Amari.
And those are 2 of my favorite players that you asked about. That's like 2 of my absolute favorite wide receivers.
Chosen Rose asking, would you pick up Campbell, Mostert, or Akers?
What do you need?
Paris Campbell, Raheem Mostert, or Cam Akers? I go Paris Campbell or Akers, depending on what you need.
Yep, I'm with you. Paris Campbell, great pickup as a wide receiver. You can plug and play him as long as Matt Ryan's the quarterback. He's going to get peppered with targets. They're not going to be super valuable, but he's got such a safe floor. You can play him every single week. The other running backs, I don't know what the hell to expect in Los Angeles, but I'll pick up Akers just to find out. That's where I'm leaning on that one. What about you, Coop?
No, I like that, man. Just with Henderson being traded, it consolidates the snaps, Yeah. So I like that. And of course, I've always liked Paris Campbell, but again, it has to be full PPR for Paris Campbell, I think, right?
Yeah. It has to be full PPR.
Good question, Rose. Guys, you see Panthers are going to announce that they're starting Sam Darnold this week versus Denver.
Ew.
Darn it.
Darn it.
But I guess, dude, Baker Mayfield's so bad. Anybody else is better, I think.
It's looked rough. I think this Panthers team is bad. Baker's looked awful whenever he's been under center. We'll see what Sam does. I have a feeling it doesn't matter. I'm just not really changing how I'm looking at any of these receiving options from Baker to Sam.
Yeah.
Like, are you guys upgrading anybody, downgrading anybody, or just like, it's a wash?
They're gonna put him in against Denver. That's brutal. That's brutal. They're sending this guy to the slaughter.
Yeah.
He's gonna be seeing ghosts of horses running around the field, just haunting his name.
What's the over under for that game gonna be?
Oh, that was like an owl.
Yeah.
Just a ghostly owl.
Turns out a ghost horse.
Yeah. Without looking, boys, take a guess at what the over under is set at for that.
It is loading on my other screen, so I'm just not going to look. Coop.
It's Panthers
38
and
a half.
Lower.
35 and a half.
It opened at 35 and a half. It's at 36 and a half now.
I think JJ brought it up on the stream yesterday. That's the only reason
that game is going to be yucky, dude.
That's disgusting.
Is that the lowest under I've ever seen, or the lowest total I've ever seen? I think so.
I wonder what the over under was for that Saints Panthers game. The Saints Broncos game where Kendall Hinton was the QB.
Oh, that was bad. They brought that up on recently somewhere too.
I heard his name so many times during the Broncos game last week, Kendall Hinton, and every single time I would hear it, like that game is so burned into my memory that I'm like, oh no, are they putting him in at quarterback? Like he would be actively catching the ball, and I'd be like, wait, why is Russ on the bench? But I just every time they said his name, I was like, went back to the quarterback game.
I think it was like the first thing they brought up too, and I was like, that's the first thing I think about when I think about that guy. Like poor media is just branding this dude.
Taysom Hill on one side, Kendall Hinton on the other. The over under for that game should have been like 6.
I forgot Taysom Hill was on the other side of that game. JHI in here, following up on what we were talking a little bit earlier, said with Henderson cut, is it worth adding Kyren or Akers?
And Coronado also had the same exact question right above him.
Yeah. So we have to pick one of the two
or is it worth adding either of them
instead of just saying no? I think so. Based on what I've seen for the usage this past week, Kyren Williams skews pass and Cam Akers skews run. If they're going to stick with that, then I would probably prefer Kyren Williams. I want the guy playing the pass downs because the guy playing the pass downs usually also gets a couple carries. But we've seen proven mathematically, Scott Barrett proved it, that even in standard, targets are more valuable than carries, right? And in PPR, they're literally twice as valuable, right? So give me the guy that's playing the pass downs. I would rather have Kyren Williams.
I'm with you. Craig in the chat coming in with a meow. What's up, Craig? And then also letting us know the total was 36.5 for the Kendall Hinton Taysom Hill QB game. So the same, right there with the same. We got Dustin in here saying good morning. What's up, everyone? What's up,
Dustin?
Good
morning, Dustin.
Yeah, the over under for the game this week, the Jets Patriots game was 36.5, and 13 points were scored. So might be part of one of our parlays. On bet of the under on that one, part of our 5-game parlay.
The first bet JL makes, let's make it a 5-leg all unders parlay. The least fun thing to cheer for.
Bet the over on punts.
We're gonna put together something spicy. Guys, we had some bad news coming out of Kansas City. Kadarius Toney suffered another hamstring injury against the Chargers. It's his 3rd hamstring injury on record, and he's expected to miss time again. It felt like a reset button for him, didn't it? Like it felt like Kansas City, and there was like this new life about Kadarius Toney. Maybe not. Maybe not, man.
Really wish I hadn't traded for him, Simon. With you.
Hey, that's okay. I got Cole Kmet with his 20% target share of 11 targets. So I think
I'd rather have Cole Kmet going forward, though.
I mean, yeah, he's playing at least. He's on the field.
Yeah.
You can start. I can start Cole Kmet week in, week out.
It happens. It's fancy
that way. Yeah. Now, did you guys see what happened with the Cardinals at the with their coaching staff at the game? Yeah,
I did see that.
Fired. They fired their O-line coach and run game coordinator Sean Kugler after an incident in Mexico, and it actually it happened before the game, and it was so bad that they actually didn't even let him coach in the game. They just told him, like, "You're done. Get out." Did
you see the reports that the Hard Knocks cameras caught it on film, and they're wiping the film to prevent it from getting out? So like that's how he got caught, was whatever it was. They're not releasing it. They don't want it to get out.
I was about to say, you guys aren't saying what it is. What is it?
Well, because we don't know. You can make assumptions, but I'm not here to make assumptions and cast things on a guy that I don't know what happened.
I thought you knew, but you just weren't saying.
No, they are wiping, like the Hard Knocks film crew caught it, and they are wiping the tape to make sure that no one can ever see it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, we set the rule with this show that we assume that all rumors are true. Unfortunately, I've been looking for rumors of like what happened, and I can't find anything. I can't find anything even remotely true enough for me to be like, this is what I heard happened. So I got nothing, unfortunately, on that. But I'm interested to see what it might have been.
This is soft knocks. This is not hard knocks. They're gonna wipe that. Like, that is what the show is for. Let us see it. Know what I mean? Like,
losing a ton of credit though. You're 100% right, because they didn't even show Eno Benjamin getting released or that conversation. It's like, why are we tuning in if all the juicy fun stuff
is going to get cut for the Arizona Cardinals? Like, this is just I
understand, maybe not let showing someone getting let go. That
fired.
That could be, that just sucks, right? Like, it's for Eno Benjamin. Though. I know, I get that, but like, if it wasn't that good content, I can understand why they would do that one.
Yeah, if it was like sad,
Yeah, or just it was just mean, right? Like, if it just comes across as like mean, then they probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I would still watch that. I would watch that all the time.
Of course you would.
At this point, if you're going to do reality television about the NFL, do reality television about the NFL. Know what I mean? Give me the drama. That's what I want.
Reddit has warped your brain, Coop.
I'll watch it. I'll watch that for sure. I mean, like, whatever it was, I want to see. Like, you say you're going to follow the team, show us what happened. The biggest news possible.
Show us everything.
The team.
We act like that's too far, but like, I literally watch people reject proposals on Bachelor in Paradise.
You know I want to watch Cliff Kingsbury sleep.
Fired.
Yeah.
Show me him sleep.
Give us a 24/7 Big Brother style live stream of the team. Cameras in all their houses. You can just log on and I wonder what D-Hop's doing right now.
My wife does watch some ruthless stuff. Where they do like a few dates and they're like, "Are you getting married or no?" And then one person's like, "Yeah," and the other person's like, like, there's some ruthless moments on those reality shows. Ruthless.
Yeah. Sometimes I walk in while my girlfriend's watching like Love is Blind, and that one just brutal. Because like sometimes they'll fall in love and they'll get out there and they'll be like, I love you even though you're not as hot as I thought you were based on your voice. Like, they'll just say things like that to each other.
God, man.
Is this a reality television show or an NFL show? I just forgot all of a sudden.
I don't know. I'm down for either. Do you guys watch any reality shows still? I've been getting back into Survivor. The guys at Fantasy Alarm got me back in. They do like a fantasy league for it, and it's kind of fun. So now I'm like kind of in on it. Do you guys watch any of those though?
I used to watch Survivor. Big Brother is like of the CBS Big Three: Big Brother, Survivor, and Amazing Race. I'm a big Brother fan. I didn't watch this most recent season; was busy, but I'm gonna watch it this off season. That'll be my my show that I'm binging this off season, is all of that.
Joey in the chat said, "Happy Thanksgiving, Joey." And JH, I had a question for us. You think this is the week to start Rachaad White over Leonard Fournette? Bye week just passed. Is now when we see the passing of the guard, passing of the Lenny.
You know what? Call back 3:00. Ask Fernando. Like, that's such a tough question, and it's a good question. The thing is, the quotes from these guys when they talk about it makes it sound like the guard hasn't passed. Rachaad White keeps saying like Leonard Fournette's the man, he's the dude, So I don't know. If you guys had one spot, an RB spot, your flex was you had Mike Evans in the flex. You had to start one of these two players there. Who are you going to start? Half PPR.
Rachaad White. I'm going to start Rachaad White.
I
liked what I saw in that last game. And he's a rookie running back who took some work and did something great with it. So I think they keep rolling with him. Leonard Fournette will be involved, but if I have to start one, it'll be Rachaad White. And he wasn't even involved in the passing game in this last game. Know what I mean? Like if Leonard Fournette is back and they get him more involved in the run, Rachaad White's earned the trust over there. And I bet they start getting him going as a receiver because he is a good receiver. That was how he profiled coming out of college.
Yeah.
But Jail, I heard you sneaking a Leonard Fournette in there.
I'll still go Leonard Fournette, but I'm fine if you want to go White here. I think Fournette will still be the guy there unless this injury gets worse.
Yeah.
The one thing throughout the season been pretty consistent is that Leonard Fournette has gotten the short yardage work, right? The goal line carries, it's like 19-6. And as you get closer, like in the 10, inside the 10, 13 carries for Leonard Fournette, 4 for Rachaad White. I think we're looking at kind of a Tony Pollard, Zeke Elliott situation here, perhaps.
Which can be totally fine for fantasy. Totally fine for fantasy for both those guys. Craig in here saying this is every weekday, so shows tomorrow and Friday, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, my man. We will be here on Thanksgiving morning and Friday morning talking ball, talking hogs, talking hogs.
They actually told us, they were like, it's Thanksgiving, guys, have the day off. And we were like, no, we're no day off. And we're not doing breaks either.
Keep the lights on.
Maybe we'll do some breaks. Maybe we'll do some breaks. But no, they were like, no show. And then we're like, we're doing it anyway. They're like, we're not going to pay you. And I was like, whatever.
Do it for the people.
We're doing it for the fam.
We get paid and loved by the people.
They said, we'll pay you in gum, but that's our final offer. Trident layers. Take it or leave it.
And they said, no Trident. And we were like, okay, fine. Okay. What do you got? And they were like, zebra gum that loses its flavor after 5 seconds. I said, deal.
5 is generous. 5 is generous. Boy, does it taste good for 1.8 seconds.
Oh, man.
Like, oh my
5
God,
gum was the currency of middle school.
5 gum was stimulate your senses. Am I right?
If you could somehow harness the flavor of that like, what was it? The zebra gum. If you could have zebra gum that kept its flavor forever, the government probably has that and they just keep it from us because they know it's too powerful.
It would create too much joy among the general populace. Everyone would be walking around too happy. They need to keep us sedated without the serotonin release that actual zebra stripe long-lasting gum would have, because it would just be uncontrollable to have that positive of a populace.
Right. Yeah. You go to the Pentagon and they have this like secret room and you open the door and it's like in there is like the cure for cancer and like
a talking zebra that shits gum.
And talking zebra that shits gum that they have the zebra gum that doesn't lose its flavor, right? And they have like the iPhone charger that doesn't get tangled, all the things that like we can't have.
The iPhone charger that doesn't get tangled. Yeah, that's what they got in there. And the wooden cutting board that never breaks when you put it through the dishwasher on accident.
Oh, that's dude. One time my wife almost started our washing machine with the cast iron pan in there, and dude, I was able to save it, but that was.
I hope you mean dishwasher and not washing machine. That she didn't put the cast iron.
Oh, did I say washing machine?
Yeah.
Jeez, that could have taken the house down.
Oh man,
what were we talking about? Gum,
football or something. Something.
Yeah, we'll be on tomorrow.
We have a question from Bronson in here. He wanted to know, do I trade Zeke and DK for Mike Evans and Amari Cooper? I'm doing that trade. If you're good passing up a running back, like if you've got the depth at running back, I like Mike Evans and Amari Cooper over DK Metcalf for the rest of the season, I think. So I'm making that move. What about you, Coop?
Yeah, if we're talking about it sounds like a move where you could start either the RB or the wide receiver at the flex. So I would do that and start the 2 wide receivers.
Yeah.
What about you,
Jay? Making that trade.
Let's do it. Illmind Jedi has a question for us. He said, are any of you gamers? If so, what are a few of your favorite games? Oh, we're gamers, bro.
Yeah.
We game.
Yeah.
Not that hard. But recently, the new Pokemon game came out, and I have been playing Pokemon Scarlet. Before that, lots of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was a big game. And then the game I've probably logged the most hours on that's not like a Nintendo game, Civ 6. I used to play so much Civilization in college, just an absurd amount. What about you guys?
Oh, back in the day, I had a ton of different games I played. More recently, definitely Pokemon, Breath of the Wild, like you said, Simon. Been playing a little Modern Warfare 2. We're playing around with that.
Oh, you got the new one?
I got the new one. It's been a while since I played Call of Duty. It's pretty good. I only played a little bit.
What do you play on? What do you have?
PlayStation 4.
Okay, is there crossplay with Xbox on that or no?
I don't know. It's a good question.
If there is, man, maybe I'll get it.
Let's do it.
I had the other one. The number one game for me is NHL. I play a lot of Chell, dude. Real nice. Love lighting that lamp, baby.
I got really into Maria and I play a lot of like Mario Party or Overcooked, and then
Overcooked
guy.
Overcooked we are obsessed with Overcooked.
Oh, do not JL. Like, if you think you like Overcooked, don't play it with JL because he will suck the joy out of that game for you. He's too good at it. It's not fun. He has enough time to beat you by 500 and then come over and just ruin all your stuff.
Oh, you guys don't play on the same team?
We play on the same team sometimes. We did a head-to-head, like 2 versus 2. And like Leanne and I are like just struggling to like exist. And Jalen and Maria are like 40 dishes in and then just coming over and throwing our plates away.
We come and steal their cooked dishes.
That's funny, man.
It was hilarious.
I play that game. It's a good way to get in a fight with. Playing co-op is a good way to fight. Dude, I play with Meat Mansion. He was in the chat sometimes, dude. And the funniest part about that is that he's like pretty dyslexic. So like I'm yelling, I'm like on your left, and he's like, I don't know what left is. Like it's literally, it's chaotic, dude. It's chaotic, yeah. So that's always a fun time. Overcooked, man. Do you guys ever play the hardest game since the old Super Nintendo games? Because like Super Star Wars was like impossibly difficult.
Yeah, the Porky Pig's Haunted Adventure on Super Nintendo was so hard. I never beat it. I played it for so long and couldn't beat it.
Some of those games, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, is literally like you beat the game and then you have to beat the game again. With like they literally make you beat the full game again. But there is a game that is crazy hard. A recent game, the hardest game I've played recently. Have you ever played a game called Cuphead?
I've seen people play it. I've watched streamers play it on Twitch. It's one of those games where I know it looks too hard, but I want to see it. So I've watched people play it.
It starts out as like the funnest game ever, dude. Like the first few levels are so fun. And then you realize that it's like you have to memorize for the later levels. You have to memorize like every single move. And if you mess up the single one up, you're toast. And also there gets to one point where a guy just rolls dice and you lose if it doesn't roll like the right thing. Like,
that's fun. That's a fun mechanic,
bro. Cuphead, the animation is amazing. I suggest you guys play Cuphead, especially if you like playing games with Maria, because you can play co-op. But I'll warn you right now, that game is frustrating.
I bet.
Let us know what your favorite games are in the chat. I see Tommy in here said Halo and Astro Smash. I don't know that.
I thought it was Ass to Smash.
Ass to Smash. And Keith said playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. Good one. I never really got into Final Fantasy, but I know a lot of my friends love it.
My roommate was into it, but watching him play games was infuriating. So I stopped liking Final Fantasy because of him. We had a question in here from JHI. I said, last question. Keep them coming. We love questions. It says, worth adding Taysom Hill after the latest report. And the report is Nick Underhill reports the Saints coach realized they were underutilizing Hill's unicorn skill set. That was in quotes before week 11. So, Coop, Mr. Tight End Tinkler, worth adding Taysom Hill?
Oh, the worst part of this news is that Nick Underhill is a guy that I trust. It'd be way better if it was like some reporter that I'm like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Nick Underhill is like plugged in with the Saints, which is unfortunate because I root against Taysom Hill. Find great joy in him having bad games. But if they are going to utilize him more, then he has to go ahead of the group of guys that don't play the full game and are touchdown dependent. So if you're sitting there thinking about starting a Robert Tonyan, who has yet to play more than 60% of the snaps in any game, if you're sitting there looking at a Mike Gesicki, I actually probably would pull the trigger on the upside of Taysom Hill. Now, the thing with Taysom Hill is you look at some of these games, and it's not necessarily that they're just not giving the ball. Like the game before last, they kept giving him the ball. They kept running for 1 yard and then setting them up with like 3rd and 9 or like 2nd and 11 or something like that. So it's like he needs to help himself as well by moving the ball. But you know, if Underhill says they're going to give him the ball more, then I expect them to give him the ball more.
Yeah. And you know what? It's been so nice, Coop, what you're saying, to see him run for 1 yard. Not because I want him to fail, but because I would just be so confused every time they put him in the game and he would just get 8 yards every time. Like I'd be like, what the hell are those defenses doing? They know exactly what's going to happen here. Let him throw it. You know what I mean? Like, let Taysom Hill throw it. If he wants to chuck it down the field, let him. Like, if he beats you that way, then, man, that sucks. Don't let him run straight up the middle for 8 yards every single time because he'll do it.
The stats would look like a college football game where you look at it and you're like, how is this team losing if they have a player getting 12 yards every time he touches the ball? Like, I look at the college football stats and I'm like, this team had 3 running backs and they all averaged 11 yards a carry. How did they lose by 20 points? Like, what is this game that they're playing down here?
Man, college football is a different game. Like,
it really is.
Since I've gotten way more into NFL after graduating and like I haven't watched as much college, when I go back and watch it, I'm like, oh, this is fun. Like this is fun. This is something else over here. We're like we're a top 5 team can lose to an unranked team 63-38. Sorry, Tennessee fans, if you're listening. I know that was rough for you, but man, like that doesn't happen in the NFL. You don't see games like that.
There are some rule changes that I think some of the rules in college football make it impossible to play defense. So in the NFL, lineman can't go. If a lineman goes a yard downfield on a pass play, that's ineligible man downfield. In college, you can go 3 yards downfield. So you can run an RPO in college where the linemen fire off and look like they're going to block the linebackers, and then the quarterback pulls it back and throws it. How the hell is a linebacker supposed to cover anybody and also stop the run with these, with these plays? Like it blows my mind some of the rule setup down there. But
and then you only have to like touch your pinky toe inbounds, like one. You just have to scrape the edge of your cleat in your inbounds. Like it's just 1 foot.
And the hash marks are like the NFL hash marks are here, and the college ones are like way out here. So you'll get like a 2nd and 3, and they have like the defense needs to cover this much field, like the entire side of the field. Like I watch these college games, and I'm just like, it does make for a fun product. You know what I mean? Because the scores are like 57-48, but it's like, dude, trying to be a defender in college is out of control.
We had some more questions in here. Joey coming in and saying, Simon and I were partners in a mini game for a late night Mario Party, and I've rarely laughed or died so much. I can confirm. We did not make a successful team, but we made a great team. We had a lot of fun on that mini game. Adam said, morning, gents. I had a Derek Carr and Cam Akers this morning. Thoughts on Akers' rest of season value? Also, I think Derek Carr is going to have a big high-scoring game this week, which I got just in case Fields doesn't play. So Akers' rest of season value, we've talked about that a little bit. There's potential there, right? JL, you want to hit on what you think is going to happen with Cam Akers?
Yeah, I mean, this Rams offense isn't running a ton. They're running 36% of the time compared to 64% passing. The offense hasn't been good. The offensive line is not great. So really the Rams running backs have just not been super valuable for fantasy. Add that with the fact that it's been a pretty split committee, not evenly split, but they have spread the ball around across these players. And with Darrell Henderson gone, this is going to consolidate some of those opportunities for Cam Akers and Kyren Williams, but it's still a limited upside play. I'm fine going either of these guys. I think Kyren Williams probably has a little bit more upside than Cam Akers, but I think they're both about even ad.
Yep. That's where I'm at too. Like you look at the last game, right? It looks like what we normally see from like Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, where Cam Akers is Nick Chubb, where he played 15. He ran the ball 15 times, but he only played on 9 pass plays. Kyren Williams ran the ball 7 times, but he played on 27 pass plays, 27 versus 9 on the pass plays. So when I go through this schedule, we'll go through it right now, boys. With the Browns, when they're winning, when they're playing well, Nick Chubb has good games. When they're behind throwing, that's when you get the Kareem Hunt games, right? So Rams, Chiefs, who do you guys think wins that one?
Chiefs.
Rams, Seahawks in Los Angeles. So Seahawks too. Rams, Raiders. Rams.
Oh man, that's a game for the ages. That'll be a barn burner right there.
That's a night game, by the way. That's a prime time game.
No, it's not.
Yes,
they are going. No, let me guess. It's a Thursday night Amazon Prime game. That just screams Thursday night football.
It could get flexed out, but it is a Thursday night football.
I knew it. That just screams Thursday night.
Actually, it can't get flexed. They can't get flexed. So that will be Thursday night game, December 8th. Who you guys got in that one? Raiders or Rams?
Yeah, give me the Raiders, but in a close one. They won't be down where it affects the game script, I think, necessarily.
I'll go Rams.
Rams, Packers. That's another primetime game, and it's in Green Bay.
I'll take the Packers. Man, the Rams surely will win one of these games that I've said they will.
That's going to be your Monday night game that week.
Gross. So not looking good game script.
Rams, for then Rams, Broncos, Rams, Chargers, and then Rams, Seahawks again. So like based on that schedule, dude, Rams, Chargers, the NFL is really banking on the Rams being a good team because Rams, Chargers is also prime time on January 1st.
Yeah, so, they thought this Rams team was going to be different. Coop, you bring up a great point. Like, not a single one of those games that I look at and go, definite win for the Rams. Like, they're going to be up in this game.
That's what makes me think Kyren Williams. Like, if we are picking between the pass down back and the run down back, give me the pass down back.
Absolutely. Guys, coming up, we have some hypothetically coming your way, and then we're going to play some poll perception a little bit later today as well. We've got Quotey Mick Quote Face, the game where we are trying to identify relevant quotes from the NFL, and then we're going to be talking some trade values a little bit later today as well. Dale, is Trade Daddy coming on with us today?
He is.
We got the Trade Daddy himself, Alex Korf, coming on, aka Peaked in High School, to talk through his trade value charts with us. You're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Better Sports Live with Lisa Ann and Rick Kamla. Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific.
Obviously, you've got a couple identities here, right? And so, Lisa Ann's here. Let's talk sports. Let's talk fantasy. What about my team? What do you think about my team? Like, that's dope, man. Like that brand you have built here is huge. And over in Switzerland, you're a big deal in Switzerland. Of course you are.
In Europe, all over Europe. But when I was at the Jersey show like 2 or 3 weekends ago, my security was shocked because every other guy legit handed me his phone and said, "Yo, Lise, can you check my lineup? Can you look on the waiver wire? I got bye weeks coming up." You're right. It's really neat how my worlds have become just this synergy between, me being me and then me reaching out to all of these different people and having this common ground that now it's like we're kind of bros when we talk about sports, right? We're just friends. We're all sharing the same heartbreak or pain. Sports is the international language.
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray. Weekdays at noon Eastern, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
Probably every team knows that inking starting pitchers to big deals and big money agreements is bad business. But that's the business they're in. What else are they going to do? That's what it costs to play the game. And all these pitchers realize it. I'd like to sit here and say, well, you should develop your own pitching. You should never pay these guys $25 million a year. But Ray, I don't think teams can do that. It's like the pitchers have a lot of power despite their weaknesses and despite their fragility. They still have so much control over the purse strings of these teams and these GMs and these owners. They don't care, Ray. They're seeing the same numbers we are. They know Jake DeGrom. If they sign him, you pray for 130 innings. Every team knows that, Ray. They may say something different, but they know what's going on. And Ray, it won't stop them. I mean, what do you think DeGrom gets in free agency this year?
I think he'll get 4 or 5 years, and he'll get 35 a year each, right? Paying $20 million for Drew Smyly is stupid. Paying $200 million for DeGrom is idiotic, in my opinion. Jacob DeGrom has had 14 injuries the last 2 years. Like, every part of his body, it's just, and he's phenomenal. But you can't be locked in. If DeGrom makes 25 starts, 26 starts, if he throws 150 innings, you could win your division. You could win the World Series. I get it. But if he does the other thing, which is what he's done the last couple of years, your team is so hamstrung, unless you're one of 2 or 3 teams, you can't spend your way out of that.
However you're invested in sports, from betting to fantasy, collectibles, and more, join our community on Better Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
In the game.
Auto game.
Ow.
Jail, you watched that video, right, of the O'Reilly Auto Parts cast? Dustin tagged us in it, I believe. It was the O'Reilly Auto Parts cast, the original cast of the commercial, getting back together. It looked like they were at a wedding or something, doing the full spiel, the voiceover, the everything. And the whole time, I was just sitting there waiting, who's doing the ow? I see 3 people up there. Who's going to hit that ow? And then the one girl standing up at the mic goes, ow, at the end. And I was like, killed it. Exactly what I wanted. She nailed it. It was Jay who tagged us. I took the credit from Jay and gave it to Dustin, but that's
it was Dustin.
Dustin deserves the credit.
Great job, Dustin. Fantastic.
Thanks so much, Dustin. We really appreciate it. That made my day yesterday. Adam was following up on his question for us, JL. Wanted to know if you should switch Cam Akers for Kyren Williams, since Kyren Williams is also available. Would you rather roster Kyren Williams?
It really is so close. I'm having a hard time either picking one side or the other. It's that dead even. I would go with whichever one you like more. That's how close it is. What about you, Simon? Do you have a preference here between these two guys?
Here's
under my head, I'm going to go Kyren Williams, but
here's what it comes. If you make me say right now, who do I think has the most fantasy points over the rest of the season? I think it's Cam Akers. Like if I had to bet money right now, but who has the higher upside? Like with the receiving work that they could get with they're a rookie player who could have more breakout. Kyren Williams has that upside, and I don't think either one is like a top tier running back. So I'll take the one that I think has more of a chance of like elevating their game. I don't think Cam Akers has that same chance. So I'll take Kyren Williams for the upside. That's the one I want to roster because I like Cam Akers, his upside, like RB 25, 26 over the back half of the season. Kyren Williams, if he can get involved in that receiving game, it could be much higher. He could be a mid-level RB2, high-level RB2.
Yeah, and I think it depends on your team, right? I think what Simon said is exactly right. And if you need someone, if your team needs that a player with higher upside, or you need somebody who's going to be more reliable, maybe fill in, that might make your decision for you. Go Cam Akers on the reliable side, go Kyren Williams on the upside side.
I don't know if he's reliable though. I think we could like. I don't feel safe with either. Know what I mean? Like I don't feel too safe with either one of them. I guess a little safer with Cam, just because we've seen it some more.
Right.
He'll get more carries, so it gives you a better floor.
Yeah, you guys are right.
Fix my camera. I was living in the darkness, dude. I was Dark Knighting it before. It's hard to tell until after it gets fixed, and then I'm like, oh.
Now I see it. Now I see it.
I see what I'm talking about.
Illmind Jet, I wanted to know, should he drop Gus Edwards for Cam Akers or hold Gus Edwards?
JL? That's a JL question.
Thanks. Thank you for sending that one to me.
You're in Baltimore. You got boots on the ground on that question.
I would drop Gus Edwards for Cam Akers. Yeah, I would.
Especially if you need wins now. Like if you're going to use the player now, like it's kind of a no-brainer. Cam Akers is playing, Gus Edwards not playing, and also might need to be ramped back up when he does get back. You never know.
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins might be back towards the end of the season. I'm not super optimistic that he'll be here for fantasy yet. Kenyon Drake's still there. I think Kenyon Drake will likely get the bulk of the work, even with Gus Edwards back, or it'll be evenly split. So it'll be maybe a similar type of situation. The Ravens backfield is not really one you want to split. Like that's not really good for fantasy.
Because Lamar already auto splits it, right? A little bit.
He already yeah.
Don't say auto splits.
Splits.
Ooh. That's the sound you make when you accidentally auto split. Ooh, it just hurts a little bit. Can you guys do the splits?
No. Absolutely not. Have you seen my legs?
No.
Every once in a while, I get the false confidence that I'm going to be able to, and I go for it. And like, I can't even touch my toes, so I don't know what I'm thinking that I can do a split.
I would like break like a wishbone if I tried to do splits.
Lucius wants to know, would you guys drop the Patsy and start streaming? Just follow whoever Denver plays. Well, who does Denver play this weekend? They play the Panthers, right? The Broncos play the Panthers with Sam Darnold starting. I'm not trying to start the Panthers, D. I know this Broncos offense has been terrible, but what do you guys think about streaming defenses? Roll with the Pats or grab one off the waiver wire to stream?
Pull up the Manchester quick.
The Patriots this week are playing Minnesota, so they've got the Vikings this week.
Patriots gonna have a hard time with Dalvin Cook because Christian Barmore's hurt. They should do all right against Hawkinson, but yeah, I don't know. Vikings are probably after the whooping they had last week, they're probably gonna come out and play pretty seriously. So I don't know if I would. I don't know if I was leaning on the Patriots.
Is Lucius saying Denver's available?
No, just follow whoever Denver plays.
Yeah.
Like
I think
grab
if you could, I would think I would start the Panthers just because, like, with the over/under of 36, like you can be pretty confident they're not going to get trounced. You're not going to get negative points or whatever.
You're right.
He does that. You know,
maybe low upside, but you got a pretty safe floor if you're plugging the Panthers in there because that game should be disgusting. I'm with you guys.
I think I'd go. So it's Pats or Panthers.
Yeah, or he could pick up other defense off the waiver wire. Those are just the only ones we know that he mentioned.
I think I'd go Patriots.
Patriots?
Yeah.
Patriots match up well with this team. Like Kyle Duggar's going to be on Hawkinson. They have good corners to at least slow down Justin Jefferson. But the problem, I think Dalvin Cook is going to have a good day running the ball.
Yeehaw! We love a good Dalvin Cook.
Yeehaw!
So I'm pretty happy about it.
We do.
Guys, you guys ready to get into some hypothetically?
Let's do it.
John Luke, you want to explain to us how this works? Maybe if nobody has been here with us for some hypothetically before, and then we can get started.
I would love to. So if this is your first time watching us play this game, hypothetically, it is a game that we came up with. Hold on one second. Sorry, Rosie is spotted an intruder in the park outside.
Get him. Get him.
Get him. Yeah, if you haven't watched this before, this is a game that we sort of made up, sort of took from other places, inspired by other places. I'm going to pose a hypothetical question, philosophical question, crazy scenario to these guys. Something that they have to answer. They can ask clarification questions, and then they have to respond. And their only rule is they have to overthink it. They have to overthink their answer. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
All right, here's your first hypothetically prompt. Would you rather break your femur or break your heart or break your mom's heart?
Oh, that is tough, man.
Would you rather break your femur, break your heart, or break your mother's heart?
Are my medical expenses covered if I break my femur?
Absolutely not.
Do you have insurance?
But well, yeah, you can assume normal average insurance. I don't know.
Okay, just assume like it's not like all expenses paid, but just assume normal average.
I have no
insurance.
idea what sort of costs would be associated with femur and like how much insurance would cover or not cover that. So I will just say a blanket all the normal amount.
Now with my mom's heart, like when you say I break my mom's heart, like her heart's broken and it's my fault. Like it's not like, oh, like her heart got broken and she would never know that I was the one that was like, I picked her heart to be broken. Like it would be like I did something and she's like, this breaks my heart, Andrew.
Yes, but it's not that she holds it against you. Like, but you did break her heart and she knows that it was you that broke her heart. It's not like, oh man, the world.
When my heart is broken, am I assuming it's like my current partner is breaking my heart? Like my girlfriend now is the one breaking or is my heart just broken? Like I feel the heartbreak, but I'm not broken up with by the partner that I'm with now.
Could be a number of things.
I would say whatever is gonna cause you to have an equivalent pain of like breaking your heart. That's what happened.
Whatever
it might be different for different.
Whatever you're thinking right now, it's something that's actually slightly worse.
Yes, it's worse than that.
Worse than my girlfriend of 5 years dumping me. That's
the worst thing.
That would be pretty bad. That would be a pretty bad situation there. I'd be pretty heartbroken.
Now, well, it could be like, I mean, there's way worse things, dude. Like, what if you like take your hat off after the show and she like slips and falls down the stairs like that, and it's all your fault? Like, isn't that worse?
We don't have stairs, so
where the heck did these stairs come from?
Well, it's hypothetically. So
put these stairs here.
It's hypothetically. So they could a set of stairs gets delivered by Amazon today, and your significant other is like, come on up to the top, and you
come on up to the top. There's nothing at the top, just the top of the stairs.
Look how high we are.
There's nothing at the top except your loved one.
Yeah, you're right. You know
okay, Tommy, good question from Tommy. How do I break my femur? So how are we breaking the femur?
That is a good question, and the answer is on your way to the toilet in the middle of the night.
Oh,
so
am I on the way to do a number one or number two?
You know the answer.
Oh,
when I ask questions, you know the answer.
Oh,
clearly a number one.
Oh, okay.
I have a character flaw that I'm aware of, and it's going to come into play in this question for sure. Boy, do I love attention. Like, boy, do I love attention. You know, it gets a lot of attention. A full-length leg cast because you broke the most painful bone in your body to break. The Scott Fish route. Like you get your entire, like, I'm going to be streaming with like my leg up on the desk, like for the entire rest of like every day, everyone's going to be reminded of that I broke my femur. The
Welcome
level
to
of
Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show.
The attention.
Like, what up, bro?
And there is this sick curiosity in my mind. Like, that's a thick bone. And people always say it is the most painful bone in the body to break.
Thick boy.
I want that reference. Like, I don't actually want to break my femur, but then I would know for the rest of my life what it felt like to break your femur. Like, I would learn something.
And you could one up everyone. Like, people are like, oh, I broke my finger. I broke my femur.
Yeah. Like, just suck it.
Yeah, it's funny. You
talking broken bones?
Just gatekeeping broken bones everywhere.
It's funny you mentioned the leg up because I'm not sure if anyone noticed, but after my wedding, I was like hammer drunk playing dodgeball in the middle of the night, and I like sprained my toe. I had like a turf toe. So I actually did spend a couple days with my foot up while we were streaming after my wedding, covertly. I actually have my foot up. I have my foot up right now just to see if anyone would notice.
Man,
God. But so yeah, I got my answer on this one too. And if you had asked me this before I left for my 3-week honeymoon through Europe, I would have to break my mom's heart because I'm trying to party. You know what I'm saying? And I can't I can't have a broken leg, but I also don't want to see my mom sad. And I've already gotten through the honeymoon. Now I'm just kind of cruising. So give me the broken leg. Snap it up.
I know what my mom would choose for me if she heard this. If my mom heard
broken
this,
femur.
No, my mom would choose her heart broken because she's a saint, and she would say, I will take that pain for you. You like don't have a broken femur, don't have a broken heart, but I will not let her do that for me. I'm going to break my femur and I'm going to do it for my mom. I'll do it myself. This is for you, Mom.
With your hands.
This is for you, Mom.
What song is playing while you break your femur to preserve your mom's heart?
How do you break it?
Heart to Break by Kim Petras.
Proud to be an American.
And how do you break it, Simon? How do you actually get it done?
How do I actually get it done? I have to do it myself. How am I going to break it?
Go on Amazon. You order some stairs.
And then Leanne walks up it and she falls, and then
you get to the top and you're like, "This is for you, Ma." Take that last step. Yeah.
Simon's like, "Boss."
I saw a video years ago that
break my heart.
That sticks in my head to this day. You know the interstate on the side where they've got like the two I-beams and then they drop concrete slabs in between the I-beams to stack up and create a wall. I watched a video of a guy laying on his back and kicking one until it broke. But those are not independently secured. They are stacked on top of each other. So after he did that, the next one fell down, smushed his leg, broke his femur.
No.
That's how I'm doing it. I'm kicking out a concrete wall. It's quick, it's painful, and then someone has to come save me.
That sounds
Mama
terrible.
in the chat says, "Do not do it, Simon."
I knew it, Mom. I knew you would try to take this from me.
No, yeah. The thing is,
from me.
At least
I appreciate it.
At least with the femur.
The attention.
Yeah, assuming I'm not going to die, which Simon's way, that's within the range of outcomes. Assuming I'm not going to die, I'd go for that, dude. Can't. Psychological pain is a different game. Yeah,
I'm way more prepared to recover physically than mentally right now. I'm not as prepared to recover mentally or emotionally. That's gonna be a tough journey.
I'm on the Amazon looking upstairs right now.
Amazon looking upstairs.
Buy some. Oh, there's little dog stairs to let your dog get on the bed.
Oh, I've seen those before. All right, guys, let's move on to our next hypothetically prompt here. Well done on that one. Well done. All right, here it is. You're a clown in the circus. You're prepping for the show when the ringleader, Jamal Williams, comes into your dressing room, tells you that the bad news. The bearded lady, Ryan Fitzpatrick, has run away. Jamal asks you to come up with a finale for the show. What do you do as the final act?
Okay. I can juggle. I can juggle quite well. So that is involved. Only 3, but I can do tricks. I can do an under the leg. I can do a throw it up and spin. I can do a behind the back. I can do 2 in one hand. I can switch to the other hand and do 2 in the other hand.
So you got a handful of tricks.
I got a handful of tricks up my sleeve. Nothing that's going to blow people away, but this is a last minute. We need to get someone out there to do it. I'm going to need some help though. Know what I mean? Like I'm going to want this to be impressive. And I'm assuming there's at least one other juggler available because this is a circus, right? Jamal Williams can absolutely juggle, right? Like, with Jail, can you clarify that for me? This is my clarifying question. Can Jamal Williams juggle?
He can juggle, but he isn't that good. And so, you can't rely on him to be flawless here.
What I want is there's a move where you can juggle back and forth with another person, like with 3 balls. And it's really just like normal juggling. Like it's not any harder. If you can normal juggle, you can do it with a partner. You're just tossing forward instead of straight up and down. We're doing that over a lion in the middle of the arena. And if it gets us, it gets us. But you got to take risks when you're pulling things out like this.
You only get like one pass before Jamal just starts fumbling everywhere.
It's okay. Then it becomes there's a lion chasing us because we dropped the juggling balls and we're just running. It becomes a thrilling experience for everyone in the arena, I think.
Unique experience. Do you get eaten?
I mean, not planned.
You or Jamal?
Not planned. That is not the goal here. But I guess it's within the range of outcomes if there's a live lion in the arena.
What happens?
The lion starts chasing me, of course. Of course, I've got a little bit more meat on my bones than Jamal Williams does. Know what I mean? I'm the tastier treat running around that arena, but Jamal sees me getting chased, but always the showman. He's the ringleader of this circus, right? So not only is he going to save me, he's going to make it seem like part of the spectacle. He may be an average juggler, but you can't talk me out of this one. I know he's an expert on the trapeze. Like without a doubt, that dude is a trapeze expert, right?
Yes.
I'm going to be running, and then all of a sudden, he's so strong. He's so strong. Like you don't even have to question if this is possible for him. He's going to come swinging in on the trapeze, hanging from his legs. Okay, as I'm about to get eaten by the lion, and then Jamal Williams grabs me by the back of my shirt, lifts me up, holds me like a baby in his arms, hanging upside down from the trapeze, and drops me safely on the other platform as he's there dangling above the lion as the lion's
the lion did get your underwear and your pants, so now you are bottomless.
That's
in front
fine.
of the entire circus.
Not the first time I've exposed my bottom to a large crowd. Won't be the last.
He drops you down in your nice little Alabama A facing the crowd on your ass.
Yeah, better that side though. Better that side.
And then everybody gets a refund.
And then everybody they all clap.
And then everyone claps. Everyone stands up and claps because it was such an exciting finale.
Good. All right, Coop.
So I'm assuming we're in Detroit for this. So I have to lean into pretty much anything that I could do. So I'm just gonna go. I would just go full Mr. Cool here, and I know that Jamal is gonna be the hero in this situation. So I'm coming out. I'm challenging him to a rap battle, 1-on-1, me versus Jamal. And at the end of the day, I'd let him 8 Mile me. You know what I mean? Because I know he could, and I know he would. So for the hometown fans, I'd come out. I'd be like, playing for the Lions. You boys ain't even trying. You got the winning culture, but you're just a touchdown vulture. And then I would let him come in and just absolutely dunk on me with whatever power of the Lord and anime that he's bringing to the table. And then all the fans, and then everyone could throw tomatoes at me, and I would be like Clarence in 8 Mile, just getting absolutely hosed.
Are you like Papa Doc?
No, Papa Doc's the man, dude. 10 freaking girls inside the chicken ticket.
Okay, you're like free world.
I would be that guy Clarence that just gets crushed. So I would come in and everybody would be like, boo, because my raps aren't even good. And also I'd be bashing on the Detroit, and I would just set Jamal up to be, you know what I mean? I'd set Jamal up, and Jamal would come in and just crush me. And then the fans would be like, yeah, and I'd get hit with tomatoes and all that. But at least we'd give them what they want, So I would step in and I would be the villain in this case, just to save the show.
The final rap battle of 8 Mile is probably one of the best moments in cinema.
I was actually I'm not going to lie. At first, I was very disappointed that the rap from the movie wasn't on the soundtrack until I listened to the soundtrack. And I was like, wait, this is just another CD of awesome songs. Because the 8 Mile the soundtrack, the CD that came with it, none of those songs are in the movie, are they?
I don't think usually they'll use clips of sounds that they track for the movies, but yeah, it's not usually the full songs.
I didn't even think they're in it was just he was like, oh, I'm just gonna, me and my buddies Obi Trice are just gonna make a totally exhibit, or we're just gonna make a totally different album that's not even has anything to do with the movie, but it was also awesome, so they got away with it. But I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't the raps from the thing.
All right, I respect this, Coop. I will accept your answer. You have catapulted Jamal to the hero of Detroit.
He's already the hero. Dressed as clowns this entire time.
Yeah.
So you are a clown out there rap battling Jamal Williams.
You're a clown in the circus.
I'm trying to run from a lion in size 47 shoes, and that's American sizes, not European sizes in those centimeters.
Jamal, you can't even.
His 8-year-old last night was talking about what would he do when he wants to grow up. He asked if it'd be okay if it's to be a zookeeper, and then asked, what about a clown?
I've told you this before. The biggest house in my neighborhood growing up, the only one bigger than all the others, was owned by clowns. There were some highly successful clowns in my neighborhood.
I'd be like, Jamal, you a clown. You can't even rap. Now feel the wrath of my finger trap.
The culture vulture line, I think, is where you peaked, Coop. That was all right. You got the winning culture, but you're just a touchdown vulture. That was all right. That wasn't too bad.
You got to be corny. You got to be corny though, because it's you don't want to show them up. You're like,
yeah.
I'm really banking on him bringing the bars here, right? He's got to bring the heat. So, but I imagine he would be able to smoke. You know, he brings some SpongeBob raps.
Dustin said, "You are assuming Simon didn't come out bottomless."
That got me.
That's you know what that
bottomless
is a pretty big
clown,
assumption.
Simon,
the bottomless clown. God, what an awful pairing of words. Just like two words that you really shouldn't put together. Bottomless clown.
Bottomless clown.
But I get being classified as that. Know what I mean? Like I understand why you would assume I'd be a bottomless clown.
Well done, guys. Let's get into our last hypothetically prompt here. You are the QB for the Chicago Bears. You just lost to the Falcons in a close game. The locker room is dead quiet. Your teammates need to be picked up, and you know you have to do something. What do you do?
Lose a rap battle with Justin Fields. I go in, lay down some
clown.
Dress as a clown. Lay down some corny finger trap lines and just let him dunk on me. And then the whole locker room's like, oh, that's going to be my new thing in life, to pick people up. I'll be like, hey, you want to trash me a rap battle real quick? Get your self-esteem back up.
So I'll say you challenged Justin Fields, I guess, in this scenario, the backup QB to you to a rap battle. And he flat out rejects you and says, no, man, I'm not in the mood.
Oh, great.
What do you do now?
I honestly forgot what the question even really was. I'm trying to.
The QB for the Chicago Bears
yeah.
just lost to the Falcons in a close game. The locker room is dead quiet. Teammates, they need, and you know you have to do something. What do you do? Here's
what I do. I say things like, well, it was really windy. And then I say, the offense didn't let the defense down. Oh, sorry. I thought you asked what would Zach Wilson do?
Zach Wilson, you set yourself up, man. And you're right, Coop. Justin Fields just freaking dunked on him. Didn't even do it on purpose. Just like
truly did. He truly did.
Just by being a leader. This is tough. So how down is the mood, JL? Like, am I responsible for full, like in your situation, like they told Coop no to a rap battle. I'm assuming like you have to generate even like the spark for the energy. There is no spark in there for you to ignite. You have to create the spark and then ignite it, right?
You do.
The whole team is in there?
Whole team.
Am I respected generally at this point?
I would say, yeah. Neutrally respected.
It could go either way.
Cool.
It depends. There's a bunch of people in that room, so some of them respect you, some of them
I don't have to like win them over, but I haven't won them over yet. Know what I mean? Like they're not anti me, but they're not necessarily pro me either.
Right.
Okay, cool. I can work with this.
But they probably wouldn't. There's certain things they wouldn't respond well to. Like if you tried to rap battle the backup QB, they'd be like, no.
Or if you were like, let's ride. They're gonna be like, get out.
Doing high knees on the plane.
I think here's what we do. Have you guys ever watched RuPaul's Drag Race?
You've explained it in great detail, so
well,
I feel like I've watched it.
Right before they get kicked off, they do a lip sync battle, but it's hard to watch someone Jimmy Fallon. You've seen people lip sync on Jimmy Fallon, right?
Yeah.
You can start watching it and be like, this is fine. Know what I mean? Like at the beginning, you can be like, this is all right. But by the end of someone like going full force for a lip sync, you are always singing along and dancing without a doubt. I am playing the Super Bowl shuffle and I am in there lip syncing my ass off. We're doing dances. We're doing cartwheels. I'm going to try a backflip that I haven't tried since I was 19 years old. And I'm going to be singing like my life depended on it, just like I was competing. And I think at least one or two other people is going to get it. Like Cole Kmet, he's going to be like bobbing his head. And then after a certain point, he's going to get up and he's going to join me. And it's going to become contagious. And slowly, it's going to be like borderline flash mob in the Bears locker room. And then we run over to the Falcons locker room to show them who's boss, team on team, full on lip sync battle. The referees come back out on the field. We do it in the Falcons stadium. And when we defeat them there,
what song?
It's a morale boost.
What song did you defeat?
Now, here's the problem though, is that I'm going to be on the Falcon side. And we're going to be,
they're in there rap battling.
The moment we get in the locker room, I'm going to be like, look, I know Simon. I've known him for a long time. We used to do backflips together when we were 19. Here's the thing. I know he's going to come over here and challenge us to a lip sync battle. So I need all y'all, even you, Pitts. I know you're hurt, but you can still do the dirty bird. It's just kind of like a little elbow move, so you can handle that. So we're going to be ready. And the moment you guys walk in the door, boom, there's me, there's Pitts, there's Drake London, there's Ludacris, and we're doing Welcome to Atlanta right up in your grill, dude. And Cole Kmet is going to tuck his tail and bounce out of there.
Now, here's what you think. You think you're going hard with the Welcome to Atlanta, but we're going to go with a pop banger so classic that your team will be dancing along with us.
Friday.
I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Fire away.
That's a pretty solid choice, I gotta say.
We are going to kill
and
it.
I'm standing there. I'm just like, boys, hold strong. But then I look over and I see Cordell Patterson. He's like, fire away. No, you guys. Who would break first? Who would break first on the Falcons? And just
absolutely Cordell Patterson.
Absolutely Patterson.
Yeah, you nailed the first one.
Yeah. That's who would break first.
Well done, guys. Great job on the Hypothetically today. That was fun.
It was a lot of smart stuff, really. A lot of smart football talk.
Stuff.
A lot of smart football talk, as usual.
He's got weird brains.
Dustin, another question about this one. Is Simon bottomless in this scenario as he goes into the Bears locker room to cheer
You can
them
assume
up?
that's, every hypothetically prompt. Assume Simon's bottomless.
Dustin with another question. What's the better dance? The Dirty Bird or the Super Bowl Shuffle? That's tough. The Dirty Bird, man.
The Dirty Bird's a better dance. The Super Bowl
clean,
Shuffle's
bro.
got the I feel like it gets like the pedigree nod. Know what I mean? Like it was like more iconic, but Dirty Bird's got to be the better dance.
I just picture when I picture the Dirty Bird, I picture Deion Sanders and like Jamal Anderson back when they had they still wear the throwbacks every once in a while, but that old all black Falcon on the helmet, dude. Those are the days where I had the Dirty Bird. I was like,
man, so I used to live in Atlanta, and if you go to any electronic show in Atlanta, it happens every single time where you're in the crowd. Everyone just starts screaming ATL ho over and over again. It is way worse. Why can't we bring the Dirty Bird back? Let's do that at everything instead of just chanting this awful cringy thing at these concerts.
You know what gets chanted at everything out here, no matter what it is Yankees suck. Yankees suck. No, it could be legit anything, dude. You'll be at a Revs soccer game and it'll be Yankees suck.
Yankees suck.
Just every
That's
time.
incredible.
On the T, on the subway. Yeah. You guys have any good chants in Maryland? You guys doing anything?
We do the during the Star Spangled Banner. That's a Maryland thing.
Oh, because of the reels.
Yeah, I think that's where it started, but it's right at the the apex of the Star Spangled Banner.
Where at the very beginning where they say, "Oh, say can," and then you just say, "Oh, say,
definitely,
can
that's it. That nailed it.
God, I knew it. I knew that's exactly where I was picturing it. I still don't know where it actually is, if we're being honest.
I'm just I'm having a hard time even remembering how the end of the song goes, even though I hear it, before every sports event.
The home of the brave.
No, not that part.
Oh, like that.
Yeah, just
I don't remember. I just told you I don't remember the end of the song.
Just like that. Also, Am's still in here. Prayers for Justin Fields. I know we had that injury, but it looks like it was not a dislocation. We reported that yesterday. It looked like it was not a dislocation. So hopefully dude's going to be all right. Hopefully he's going to be all right. It looks like it's something that he's day to day, right? So he should be able to play.
Yeah.
Guys, coming up, we've got some poll perception coming your way, along with some quotey Mick quote face. And then our friend Alex Korf, a.k.a. the Trade Daddy, a.k.a. Peaked in High School, is joining the show to go through his trade value charts with us. You're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com.
The only person, I've said this to you before, who I believe back then, of all those power hitters who truly was clean, Ken Griffey Jr.
I mean, I think so when he got hurt.
Body didn't change.
We'll never know that for sure either.
No, dude.
We've seen guys who were not big take substances.
That's true.
To get busted. So it's not about that always.
I hear you. It's just, don't you think with the way his career kind of went, you would think that he didn't take anything?
I don't think he did, but we'll never know 100%.
I'm going to keep telling myself that he didn't. The 1 year player, I mean, he's my favorite baseball player of all time. In the 1990s, Ron, as a kid, as a 5-year-old kid who
plays video games and collected cards, there was no one cooler than Ken Griffey Jr. I still wear my hat backwards because Ken Griffey Jr. did it and he looked really cool doing that, wearing a backwards baseball cap. Like, he made everything the guy did looked cool. Even the home run in the movie Little Big League, it's acting, it's all, I guess, fake, but even he made that look cool. I mean, Ken Griffey Jr., you're a little bit older than me, but in the 90s, was there besides Michael Jordan, was there a more loved athlete than Ken Griffey Jr.?
Yeah, no, I love Griffey. He's one of my favorite players ever, from defensively to hitting his swing. And yeah, I would have loved to see what he could have done if he had stayed healthy, the final numbers he'd finished with. So no, I was a huge fan of Ken Griffey, and it's a shame though that all those injuries towards the end of his career just really limited the production he put up, but he still put up elite numbers. He was so fun to watch. So I'm a huge Ken Griffey guy.
And here's the other thing too. So 1994, the season got shortened because of the strike.
And he finished with 40 homers in 111 games that year, man. And then he had 56 2 years in a row, 97 and 98, and then 48. He had a stretch 4 years in a row, 49, 56, 56, 48, 40. I mean, unbelievable. And then, yeah, once he hit like 31, he started to miss games, 111, 70, 53, 83. So think about that. All those years that he lost, and he still hit 630 home runs, man. Yeah. So if he was clean, he would have been the all-time home run champion. Again, we're all guessing here, but you would think, all right, well, once he got into age 31, 32, that's when the body started breaking out, which is typical, right, for someone who's not using anything, whereas we saw Barry Bonds just get better with age, and we did not see that with Griffey. So look at 2001, where he's 31, he played on, look at the home runs decline, 8, 13, 20, 35, 27, 30, 18, 15. To his age 38 season. Even age 39 in 170 games, he had 19 home runs. So he probably would have definitely been the all-time home run leader had he been able to stay healthy.
Better Sports Network. It's sports talk done better.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. To the game.
Man, we do it every single time. We're definitely gonna get sued some.
Yeah. I was telling Leanne yesterday that we do the EA Sports followed by the AutoZone, followed by the O'Reillys, and she's like, and no one sued you yet? And I was like, nope.
I don't even know where did the car jingles come in?
Because it sounded like AutoZone, and then we just added AutoZone.
I just would always do it's in the game.
Ow!
They should that got
I know where the AutoZone came from. You don't remember?
No.
It was on a mommy AutoZone and a daddy AutoZone that love each other very much.
I was watching. I wasn't even on the show. I was watching you guys on Sunday, and it was one of the very first shows, so we were still figuring out like the breaks and stuff. And they were supposed to go to break, but they didn't play any of the commercials. So it was just you guys sitting there, like like complete doofuses. And then JL just goes, AutoZone. And then it finally cut to break. Like it was like a full like maybe 30 seconds of you guys like being like is they gonna
30 seconds? That's extremely long.
Dude, go back, bro.
I'm going to.
It was long enough for you. It was long enough for you to sit there with your eyes open like this and then say AutoZone because you're panicking.
Every time you guys say AutoZone, I want to just scream ow at it. Like I had to stop myself every single time. Like you would say, I don't get
jingle.
Like just over and over again. Guys, we are going to get into a game of poll perception right now. Coop versus JL head to head. If you guys want to play along with us, go into the BSN app, hit that call in button. You can come up on air, compete as a third contestant, or join one of these two guys' teams, help them out a little bit. We're going to get into it. How this game works is it is a game that tests our contestants' knowledge of the public perception on the NFL and fantasy football. I will propose a poll to one of our contestants. And you guys will be responsible for guessing the percentage of people that chose the first option in that poll. Side A, the very first option. The closer you are, the more points you're going to get. But before I reveal how close you are, the other contestant will be responsible for guessing the over or under on your guess, whether the actual answer is over or under the line that your opponent set. Get that right, you're going to add 2 points to your score. We'll go back and forth, alternating who's setting the line until that final poll where you guys will both be guessing a number Whoever has the most points at the end of that final round is our poll perception champion. You boys ready?
Ready.
Let's do it. Coop, I'm going to let you decide. Do you want to go first or second?
I think I'm going to go first.
You're going to go first? Okay, Coop's going first, Jay. That means you are going second. Coop, here is your first poll. This one comes to you from Floor Slapper Sports. Floor Slapper Sports wants to know, who's the best team in the NFL? Side A, the Bills. Side B, the Eagles. Side C, the Vikings. Side D, the Chiefs. What percentage of people said the Bills in this poll?
Now, do we have any info on whether this poll was asked recently? Like, was it asked after Sunday?
I will find that out for you
if
now.
Possible. If possible. If not possible, then no worries. But I mean, like, that the swing on the number of points the Vikings would get in a poll like this before and after this week, I feel like it's pretty big, right? Like, if this was asked on Friday, the Vikings would be, I mean, they would be a lot higher than after they just got trounced by the Cowboys and it wasn't even close, you know?
Let's see if I can find this for you, Coop. This poll was asked. I have no idea. I have no idea.
All right. Either way, I think that the Bills got to be at least, even though there's a number of teams in this one, they got to be at least close to 50%, if not above. I think they honestly, enough people think that they're the best team.
I found it. This was after the games this weekend. So you're good.
You can take some points away from the Vikings. It's recency bias on Twitter. Crazy. Right. So give me the Bills at 58% of this poll. I think it's pretty heavy. Even though it's a 14 poll, I think it's going to be pretty heavy in favor of the Bills.
58% on the Bills side, JL. Just a reminder, the question was, who's the best team in the NFL? Option A was the Bills. Option B was the Eagles. Option C was the Vikings. And D was the Chiefs. Over or under Coop's guess of 58% on the Bills side here?
I'll take the under on Coop's guess, 58%. I think that, especially after this past weekend, some people will be spreading the votes around. And I think that a lot of people are just going to pick other teams because they don't like the Bills.
Guys, whether you come up on the air or not, play along in the chat. Play along in the chat. Throw your guesses
Fans
in
of
there.
Other franchises?
We will shout you out if
I like
you
love
are
when you play in the
very
chat.
right. And we will make fun of you if you're very wrong. But it's all part of the fun. So throw your answers in the chat. Play along with us. Show off a little if you think you know the answers to these polls. So Coop guessed 58%. JL took the under. Well, the percentage of people that answered the Bills in this poll was 19%.
What?
The Bills
That's
only
crazy.
got 19% of the vote in this poll. Here's the breakdown. The Chiefs were first with 42% of the vote. So I think what the Chiefs have been doing recently, that offense has been clicking. They've been looking good. It must be speaking volumes. The Eagles were at 23%, then the Bills in third at 19%, and the Vikings at 17% in last place here.
Telling you, man, people are seeing cracks in the Bills.
That's wild. Yeah, I guess. I mean,
they should just pull their pants up.
I think you would have been right if you asked this like 3 weeks ago, Coop. I think you would have been absolutely. I think you would have nailed it.
Yeah, crazy to me that 17% of people still think that the Vikings are the best team in the league. If you're the best team in the league,
those are Vikings fans.
Yeah,
That's Scott Fish.
I'm not even sure Scott Fish would say that right now. I mean,
no,
that was a paddling this week. All right.
I just have this feeling that like people are starting to sleep on the Bills. I agree, Jale. I've seen that sentiment. I have a feeling like at the back half of this season, like the last couple of weeks going into the playoffs, the Bills are going to be exactly who we thought they were at the beginning of the season. And like, we're going to think there's all this parity. We think it's going to be great. And then the Bills are just going to steamroll their way through the playoffs to the Super Bowl. And then hopefully we get a good Super Bowl game, but this is the kind of team I feel like when they get it together, when they get it clicking, they are the best team in the NFL in my mind. So I'm excited to watch this playoff run. I hope we get the Bills team that I feel like they are. I hope we get the best version of the Bills team come playoff time and not what we've seen the past couple weeks.
The sentiment around the Eagles is interesting because you would think that being the only one loss team that they would be, that, everybody would be like, oh yeah, Eagles best team. But like, I don't know, people, including me, don't necessarily like everyone acknowledges that they're good, but no one is really like, oh man, the Eagles are a wagon, right? Like, you guys feel the same way about the Eagles?
I think they're a wagon.
I think they're great, but it's like, I don't know. You would think that a team that's just a one-win team, it would be easy to say that's the best team.
Maybe the loss to the Commanders is like they were dominated on the ground by the Commanders in that game. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just like the Commanders fought out a win. The Commanders dominated that game on the ground, and I think showed up like a very true weakness of that Eagles team that maybe people are taking more into account now. Like you can beat them on the ground. Can't beat them through the air, but you can beat them on the ground.
Yeah, and I think part of that is I think the Eagles are facing the same thing the Bills are, in that like people like if the Eagles hadn't lost the last 2 games, people would have been, oh, they're the best, absolute best, like invincible team. Same way, a lot of people were looking at the Bills earlier on in the season. So I think part of that is just these losses, and that happens, right? There's variance, there's parity in the NFL.
Yeah, maybe a little recency bias as well, because it's like if that loss was in the beginning of the season instead of just like a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Right.
So I feel that. Yeah, Eagles did almost get beat by the Colts.
Yeah. Exactly. They did almost get beat by that. But in their defense, Jeff Saturday was the head coach.
Yeah. Jeff MF and Saturday.
MFF and
he's a hog, dude. He's a hog.
Nailed it.
Gem FFing is Gem FFing Saturday.
I'm wrong. Gem FFing Saturday.
That's his new name. Let's get t-shirts that say Gem FFing Saturday. Just completely wrong with a picture of his face on it. Well, JL, you're gonna get 2 points for correctly picking the under on that one. Coop, I'm sorry. Being 40% off does not get you any points in this one, but the game's still early, man. You still got
it. It was only 39% off.
You're right. I'm so sorry. That was rude of me. JL, you ready for your first poll?
For the record.
Yeah.
Mr. Cool's here. Now you got to watch out. Here's your poll, Dale. The Dallas Cowboys play in the afternoon every Thanksgiving, which can be an awkward time as far as Thanksgiving dinner is concerned. Do you eat your food before or after the Cowboys game? This one coming to you from RJ Ochoa. Option A, before the game. Option B, after the game. What percentage of people said they eat their Thanksgiving dinner before the game?
The game's at 4:25?
Sure.
Well,
the afternoon?
We got to
clarify. The afternoon game. Yeah, they're playing at they've got the 4:30 game Eastern. For full transparency, in Dallas time, that's going to be the 3:30 game. But there's Cowboys fans nationwide. Cowboys fans are all over the country.
Yeah, 4:30. So that's 1:30 West Coast. I'm gonna go with, and this isn't like a Cowboy Stan account, right? That we know of.
Let me check for you. I can check. That'll be real quick to see the bio right here. Oh, it is absolutely a Cowboys account. RJ Ochoa is the manager and editor-in-chief of Blogging the Boys, which is SB Nation's home for the Dallas Cowboys content.
Oh, this is gonna be heavy Dallas folk. Then I'm gonna go on the, and I'm guessing how many eat before.
Yes, on the before the game side.
I'm gonna go with 28%.
28% from John Luke. Coop, do you think the actual percentage of people that eat before the game on this Cowboys post is over or under Jail's guess of 28%?
I think with 3:30 being the time, I'm going to say, I mean, I usually eat Thanksgiving dinner fairly early, so maybe I'm biased on this. Not to mention, these games are like 3 hours. So if you're not eating at before 3:30, your Thanksgiving dinner, you're gonna have like 7 at night. I feel like that's late for Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna go over. I think it's gonna be over that number.
Coop taking the over.
I feel like people eat early on Thanksgiving. Eat early.
Some people do the lunch.
Some people do a lunch. We got some guesses.
Do you guys do a lunch?
I do a dinner usually. I do like a 3 p.m. 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. is usually when my meal starts.
We usually do a dinner at either my parents or Maria's parents, and sometimes I'll go to my grandma's in the morning, and that's usually during that morning football game. So usually we'll do a lunch and a dinner actually.
Okay, so your dinner's closer to like 6 or 7 then?
Yeah, because we try and spread them out.
Wow.
Our parents kind of.
What about you, Coop?
You're biased. We get over, and I think dinner for us is probably gonna be like Eastern time. Still gonna be like 2 or 3. Like
Hell yeah.
big meal, dude. And I just start eating, don't really stop, you know. My favorite part is the wrap I make at like 7 or 8 at night. The Thanksgiving
wrap. I do the Thanksgiving nachos, Coop. Same thing. Like I put a plate of tortilla chips and I cover it in turkey and mashed potatoes and cheese and cranberry sauce, and I make a whole plate of Thanksgiving nachos.
Nachos, dude. That's wild.
It's the move. It's the move.
Wild.
You got to do it. We had some guesses in the chat. Tommy going with 65% before. Dustin going with 42%. They eat before. The actual percentage of people that said they eat before the game, before the Dallas Cowboys game in the afternoon was 74%. 74% of people eating before the game. Wow. So, Coop, you're going to get 2 points for that one, bringing the score to 2-2. And JL, your guess similar to Coop's right there. You were just about 50 percentage points off, so no points for you on that one.
We're so good at this, dude.
Bonk.
You guys are correctly picking the over-unders. What you're doing is you're just setting soft lines for your opponent. You guys are giving the layup to your opponent with the soft.
It's Thanksgiving.
Lines.
It's Thanksgiving, Simon.
Gotta be nice.
Consider it.
Kinda
just
made an agreement.
Jesse in the chat. What up, Jesse? Said Cam Akers season.
I mean, but it's like winter in Boston. Know what I mean? Like that's the season.
Yeah. Is it, dude?
I mean, it's a season, but I'm not sure it's a good one. I'm not sure it's one that you want. Coop, you ready for your next poll?
I think so.
Here is your next poll. Should the Jets bench Zach Wilson and put in Mike White starting next week? This comes from a Denzel Mims burner account. That's what the name of the account is Denzel Mims burner account.
So this is
Should the Jets bench Zach Wilson and put in Mike White starting next week? The options are side A, yes. Side B, no. What percentage of people said yes? They should bench Wilson and play Mike White.
So this is a Jets meme account, it sounds like. And there's some layers to this because it's not even Flacco. They're going deep to the Mike White. I want to say that it's going to be over 50% because that's the funny answer. And an account like this paired with the nonsense of Twitter, gotta be yes. So I'm gonna go with I think it's gonna be kind of close, but I think 53% of people are gonna say yes, bench him for Mike White, because that's the funny answer.
53%. John Luke, do you think the actual answer is over or under? Coops gets a 53% on the percentage of people that said yes, bench Zach Wilson for Mike White.
I'll take the over.
Over, yeah.
Jail taking the over.
It might be the Denzel Mims burner name that makes me think that.
Yeah, and on
people,
Twitter.
People following that account are like, yeah, bench him.
The actual percentage of people that said yes to this poll was, before we do that, Jesse came in with a last second guess, 64% from Jesse. Well, Jesse, you would in fact be the closest guesser because the answer is 60%. 60%. So, Coop, you're within 10. You're going to add 3 points to your score. And, Jail, you correctly picked the over, which is going to add 2 points to your score, making this a tight game. It is 5-4 right now after that poll. And 60% of the people saying, yeah, bench him for Mike White. I'm with him. I would have clicked yes on that poll if I saw it scroll across my timeline. Like without a doubt, I would have just clicked yes.
That's the crazy thing about the public sentiment in this league, because had Zach Wilson said all the things that Justin Fields said, then the number would probably been like 25%. But you say the wrong thing, you lose the crowd quick.
Yeah. Yep. When you're not playing well, for sure. Dale, that brings us to your next poll. You ready for your next poll?
I'm ready.
Here we go. With news that Cooper Kupp is headed to the IR, who do you prefer in fantasy football for the rest of the season? Side A, Allen Robinson. Side B, Ben Skowronek. Or side C, Van Jefferson. What percentage of people said Allen Robinson? This poll's coming to you from our friend Dave Kluge.
Dave Kluge.
What a good
Dave FF and Kluge.
Kluge's been killing it so much on Twitter lately that other people are stealing his memes and posting them on Reddit. Like I'm seeing memes, like I'm seeing things and I'm like, dude, that's Kluge. And then, then me and Kluge have to go in the comments and do battle with these imposters. But your memes are crushing. Other people are stealing them, right?
Facts, yeah. Oh man, okay, so
you're guessing the Allen Robinson side, Jail, between the three options: Allen Robinson, Ben Skowronek, and Van Jefferson.
I think that Kluge's got a pretty sharp following. And so it might not be as high on the Allen Robinson side as I would normally guess that this would say Matthew Berry. I'm gonna go with 28% again.
28%, staying consistent from John Luke. Coop, do you think the actual percentage of people that chose Allen Robinson in this poll is over or under JL's guess of 28%?
That's a good guess, man. That's a good guess. I feel like people, they want Van Jefferson to be good so bad. Ben Skowronek, though, he sucks. I'm sorry, Ben. I gotta go over because there's only 3 names in the poll, and we're going under 33% on the wide receiver that it should be the best one. So I'm gonna go over on that.
Going to take the over. We got double overs, and by double overs, I mean just 1 over from Coop. Is what I meant right there. We only have 1 contestant today, not 2 additional.
I figured
ones.
that's what you meant.
That's exactly what I meant. Well, guys, the actual percentage of people that chose Allen Robinson in this poll was 44%. JL, you perfectly put yourself outside of the range. 16 percentage points away instead of 15. So you're going to get 0 points. Coop's going to get 2 points, bringing his lead up to 7-4, but it's anybody's game. Whoever's closer on this last poll will be our poll perception champion today. You guys both got to guess a number. You got your pen and paper, or your glue and glitter and paper, or your picture frame and Sharpie, whatever you want to write on. It works.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Smoke signals.
And here is your last poll. How far are you traveling for Thanksgiving? Is the last poll. And this comes to you from C. Nathan is the account. No team affiliation, no nothing that's going to give that away. But how far are you traveling for Thanksgiving? Option A is hosting. Option B is under 20 miles. Option C is under 100 miles. And option D is over 100 miles. What percentage of people said they are hosting Thanksgiving? They're not traveling anywhere. Yes, the 4 options are hosting, under 20 miles, between 20 and 100 miles, and then over 100 miles.
And the number we're guessing is A.
Is A for hosting. So you're guessing the percentage of people hosting Thanksgiving.
This is great. This is a crazy thing to consider.
I'll give you guys about 10 seconds to get your polls in there. While you guys are coming up with your responses, your average Joe had a question for us in the chat. Said 12-team Dynasty PPR. I'm being offered Diggs for DK and Kamara. I have McCaffrey and Eckler. And then for wide receivers, I have Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin, and Amari Cooper. First of all, that is a fantastic team, your average Joe. And with the depth that you have, having McCaffrey and Eckler, I think I'm fine sending away DK and Kamara for Stephon Diggs. I'm excited about Diggs the rest of the season. He's one of those top tier wide receivers. So that would definitely upgrade your wide receiver positions. If you had Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, and Amari Cooper as your starting 3 wide receivers to pair with McCaffrey and Eckler, I love that. That is hot. That's hot. You guys got your answers?
Ready.
You ready, Coop? You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, my mom in the chat with a guess with 42%. So you guys got to beat her as well. What's your guesses, guys? We've got
mine's 11.
11% from Coop and 10% from JL. Oh man, JL, that's about as bad as it could be for you. But there's still a chance that it's exactly right. I have not looked at
lower.
I haven't looked
Tom
at
Price is right.
Or lower. You're right. You got that whole section for you. Well, the actual percentage of people that said they were hosting for Thanksgiving in this poll was 26%.
Wow.
Coop, you are our poll perception champion. Thank you so much for playing, and congratulations on the W. You made
Thanks
it.
for having me,
Welcome back
guys.
from
Quick speech, first of all, want to thank me. Couldn't have been possible without me. Second of all,
as if this 3-hour show isn't just one long speech.
Second of all, I would like to thank Jolly Rancher and JL's Ma in the chat for their support. 2 of my biggest fans.
The goats.
Want to support them, the goats. Yep. And to everybody else out there except JL and Simon. Thank you for your help on this. And I guess Simon.
Simon.
You did.
I just congratulated you. I was so nice about your victory. But that's okay, Coop. I get it.
So
you might get some harder polls next time we play poll perception.
Thanks. Yeah, but Yeah, I guess it will. And thank you, Keith, for everything you do. Hope you feel better. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. End of speech.
End of speech. Guys, coming up, we got some exciting stuff coming. We're going to play some Quotey McQuote Face, and our friend Alex Korf is joining the show as well to talk about his trade value charts. And Maryland sports betting goes live in 1 minute. JL is in Maryland.
I better get loaded up.
And we are going to make one of the first legal sports bets in the state of Maryland live on air with John Luke. So stick around for that. Guys, we also have some exciting stuff going on this Thanksgiving. If you think you can beat our hosts on Jock Market, now's your time to prove it. On Thanksgiving Day, beat Corey Parson in the BSN free beginner only $400 NFL Thursday contest on the Jock Market app, and you'll be eligible to win an autographed Trayvon Diggs Thanksgiving Day jersey. And guys, I've seen this jersey. It is sick. It is the That's Thanksgiving awesome. Day blue and white ones. It's pretty awesome. So you guys get in there, play against Corey on that BSN free beginner contest on Jock Market. And if you beat a score, you're automatically eligible to win that jersey. One person's going to go home with it. Right now, you are listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Front Yard Fantasy, weekday mornings at 7 Eastern on Better Sports Network.
There was a tweet about the refs that had me kind of cracking up the other day because somebody was like, we have the technology to track the ball down to a centimeter and figure out, what speed these guys are running on the field. Yet somehow we still mark the ball by
That's my favorite.
A 60-year-old dude eyeballing it, and then we run over with literal chains and measure it. It's like, you think we can probably get that figured out.
The least precise way to measure something, and then immediately following that up with a super precise way of measuring something.
Yeah, it's like we have satellite. Like if you're a millimeter short of that chain that they bring out there, that they ran out it as best they could in a straight line. But if you first they just go here, and then they grab the chains and they run in the straightest line possible. But then if you are 1 millimeter short with that football, doesn't count. Sorry. Couldn't have been human error. You're just short.
That's exactly. And, they bring out the index card or whatever. Meanwhile, they have satellites in space tracking how fast Brandon Ayuk ran on an end around. But we can't.
And I can see that number live while he's doing it. Like I can see every player's speed on the screen live.
I love that. It's and not to mention that dude's trying to make the spot and the player always tosses the ball right into his face. Right? He's coming over to spot it, and it's every other time the player just here you go. Here's another thing to juggle.
On call with Dr. Roto.
If the Giants don't win another game this year, A, I'll be shocked. But B, I'll still think that they're better than they were with Joe Judge. Much better. Because I think Brian Dable's got a lot out of this team already. And I'm seeing what this team could be. See, that's the problem with owners and general managers. I see Nathaniel Hackett and I see a guy who can't get it done. I see Matt Rule and see a guy who never should have been hired. Disaster right away. Sometimes a good coordinator in the NFL is better. I don't even say sometimes. Most of the time, a good coordinator in the NFL is better than a college coach because the NFL coordinators, they know the system. They've been there. They've played. They've been around it. For the life of me, I don't know why Eric Bieniemy hasn't gotten a job yet. Deuce Staley's going to get a job. Somebody's going to hire that dude. When you've been around the game, you understand it. These college guys come, they don't know it.
Join the show with one touch of a button. It's Sports Talk 3.0 on Better Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back into the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. And man, it is exciting. JL showed us over the break. It is live. He's got that sports book pulled up in Maryland. JL, this is an exciting day. We get to make one of the first sports bets in Maryland live right here on air through you. I'm living vicariously through you.
This is so fun. I can actually see everything on that.
Hold it up. Hold it up.
Ooh, look at that fancy guy. In the off season, I did drive through Jersey and I did place a couple bets, but I haven't been able to actually see them because I live in Maryland. I couldn't even get into it. So now I can actually see the bets I made, I think.
It's like the
Maybe
first
not.
thing I did when I landed in Colorado visiting my friend was like I had the sportsbook apps downloaded and ready to go, and I lost $100 within like 2 hours of being there. Like was just ready to go. I was so excited. I didn't even pay attention. I was like, yeah, bet. And then gone. It picked up over the rest of the week. We slowed down. Me and my buddies were a little more purposeful with it, but it's exciting. It's exciting stuff.
It is. It is.
You guys want to put together a parlay for Thanksgiving?
Let's do a Thanksgiving a parlay. I'll throw like $20-$30 on. We'll see what we do.
If we're doing a 5-leg parlay, maybe keep it at 20 because that's I'm sure it's going to be like 20. If it's a 5-leg parlay of these 3 games, whatever we're doing, it's going to be like $20 to win quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
Now
it doesn't have to be. They have some Thanksgiving specials. They got like any game on Thanksgiving to go to overtime at plus 600.
Okay.
Any QB on Thanksgiving Day to throw 4+ touchdowns at plus 175. Both Matt Judon and Zadarius Smith to record 1+ full sack each.
Judon's been on fire, dude.
He has. And I already said that. Michael Parsons to record 2+ full sacks.
Some specials in there, dude.
I like this one. The highest scoring team on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving only.
Thanksgiving only. You can get plus odds on the Bills, plus 115 for them to be the highest scoring team on Thanksgiving going against the Detroit Lions. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Out of the 6 teams playing, you've got, what are the games? You've got the Bills at the Detroit Lions with a 54.5 total. Bills at minus 9.5. The Giants at the Cowboys, 45.5 total. Cowboys are 9.5 point favorites as well. And then the Patriots at the Vikings. Vikings 2.5 point favorites, 42.5 point over under. I don't mind the Bills to be the highest scoring team on Thanksgiving at plus 115. The Cowboys at plus 280 are right there as well. But man, that seems like a good one for the Bills to get plus money odds on that.
You want to do that one?
Yeah,
I'm feeling good about that one.
Can we do individual player props as part of this too?
Probably.
Yeah, you could do a parlay builder. Oh, you're saying just one though, not a parlay.
Just like no part of the parlay. Like so in the parlay, you do like so one of ours is that one of the bets is that the Bills are gonna score the most points, and then part of this parlay, one of the legs is I kind of have one that is a little spicy, but I want to bet the under on TJ Hawkinson's yards.
Under on TJ Hawkinson's yards.
Yes.
Is it the matchup that's making you say that?
So with the Patriots, you look at it and people think that it's a good matchup, but there's been 7 touchdowns scored by tight ends against this team. 5 of them came in games when Kyle Duggar was hurt, and Kyle Duggar's fully healthy. Last week, like Kyle Duggar is kind of a tight end killer. So if he's healthy, I think he can steer things away from Hawkinson enough. So I actually do like taking the under on that.
All right, taking the under on TJ Hawkinson's yards. Any other ones that stand out to you guys here?
I like
that Judon has 13 sacks in 10 games. So he only has 2 games this season where he doesn't have a sack.
That's true. I think I might. Let's see. I'm thinking maybe like a Justin Jefferson or Amon-Ra St. Brown, maybe over on the receptions. Might be fun to throw in there.
So if we're gonna bet against Hawkinson, you want to have we want to be in sync here. Yeah, some correlation here. So I think that's great. Like doing the Justin Jefferson instead of Hawk. You know what I mean?
And you want to do receptions instead of yards. The line for receptions his line for receptions is at 6.5, JL. So we would have to say over 6.5 receptions, which is a pretty hefty line. But Jefferson smashed that multiple times this year.
I'm pretty confident in it.
Do we want to do under? Do we want to do under 4.5 receptions for Hawk or under yardage total?
What's his receptions line at? Where the line's set?
4.5.
His reception, 4.5 for him on receptions.
Yeah, he's been getting too many targets.
I like the yards. I like the 42.5 yards. And I like the Justin Jefferson targets, though. I think I like that better than his yards. His yardage total set at 85.5. I'll take the 6.5 receptions, the over on the 6.5 receptions instead.
Okay. So we got 3 legs.
Too bad if we had another.
Anybody else? Hey, in the chat, guys, if you guys have any that you like for tomorrow, take a look. Any sports book, we'll find it. So take a look. See what you like out there. Toss one in there. I'd love for somebody from the chat that we're doing a 5-leg parlay just for fun here. So if just to celebrate Baltimore free and freedom in America, now allowing gambling. If you have one that you like, take a look, throw it in the chat. We'll throw it in this 5-leg parlay, right, boys? Why not?
Let's do it.
I think we throw in Josh Allen over 2.5 passing touchdowns. That's a high line, but against Detroit, I think he could do it. And it goes with our other.
It goes with our other one, with them being the highest scoring team. I like that, JL.
All right, so we have 2 bets. We have 2 bets in the Bills game, 2 bets in the Patriots game. So let's get a bet into this. The last one, let's get a bet into the Giants-Cowboys game.
Let's do it.
Okay.
That's the easy part of saying that. Do it.
The Cowboys are 9.5-point favorites over the Giants. Are you guys buying that line? Are you buying that the Cowboys are that much better than the New York Giants in a division game on Thursday on Thanksgiving? Like that is a hefty line for a division game from a team that isn't bad. You know what I mean? This Giants team is much better than we expected. I know the Cowboys have been on a tear. I'm not buying that the Cowboys are going to beat them by 10 points this week. I'd be tempted to go the Giants to cover that 9.5-point spread -108. I like that one. Keith in the chat saying I like no TDs in all Thanksgiving games.
The mega Keith sweat. I want to see. I want to see what a parlay would look like if you plugged that in. Like it would probably be like $10 to win 10 grand. That not a touchdown would be scored.
Not a single touchdown. Simon, that could be interesting. Let's take a peek at
the props in there as well. See if there's only
Daniel Jones over 193.5 passing yards is a little enticing. I think that game could be high scoring. Do you know what's the total set on that game?
Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown?
This total for that game, Jail, is 45.5 for that game.
Okay. That's
Tony Pollard anytime touchdown is set the same as Saquon Barkley. And I think I would take Saquon over Pollard just because Zeke exists.
Yeah. That's a good point. You want to do that?
Let's do it.
Devontae Turpin kick return?
No. I'm not sitting there watching that game hoping for a guy.
Just every time they punt, the fair catches are like, All right.
What about I guess that's not in that game. I was gonna say Ramondre Stevenson looks like some good props.
What's the prop of Ramondre?
Let's see. We got Ramondre Stevenson under 91.5 rushing and receiving yards.
Oh, combined. I was gonna say. Geez.
Yeah, combined under 27.5 receiving yards and not under 3.5 receptions.
The way Damian Harris played this week, I like unders on like all that, right? Damian Harris played really well.
He did. He did.
But we got to get one into the Cowboys game. What did we go with? Did we decide Saquon touchdown or what were you guys thinking? Yeah, that's fun. Everyone likes.
All right,
Saquon.
we got it.
We got it. Joe, run it back. What do we got? What are the odds on this parlay?
Oh, I couldn't find them all while we were talking, so I just wrote them down. I was going to find them while we did the next.
Are there people out there that are like, I don't like Saquon? I got to be somewhere, but like
other NFC East fans maybe.
But he always says the right things. It's kind of hard to dislike him, you know.
Yeah.
Tommy's got one for us in the chat. Said CeeDee Lamb 100+ yards at +190. So you can get CeeDee Lamb 100+ yards at +190 in this game against the Giants. That's an interesting one. And you get plus odds. I'm guessing that's under his alternate receiving yards props right there.
You know,
I don't
that
mind that one.
That special Thanksgiving turkey they do does have 6 legs, not 5 legs.
Think about it.
Yeah,
think about it. Let's get Tommy's in there. 6-leg parlay.
9-leg. Jail's gonna come in on Friday and be like, guys, I just made $14,000.
I love you guys.
We're gonna keep adding.
Where Jail's not gonna come in on Monday. Like we show up on Monday and Jail's just like, bye. Sorry guys, I'm off to Vegas.
Yeah, see you later. I'm a pro. We got Bills to score most on Thanksgiving. We got under TJ Hawkinson's yards. I don't remember what it was set at. What was it again, Coop? Do you remember?
Hawkinson was set at 42 yards is 42.5.
42.5. And then Justin Jefferson, I think we took the over on receptions, 6.5. 6.5. And then we got Josh Allen over 2.5 passing touchdowns. Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown score.
Yeehaw.
Let's
and Tommy's CeeDee Lamb 100+ yards at +190 if we want to throw that one in there. Tommy said yes.
We will update on Friday what the results are.
Did you plug it in? Did it tell you what?
No, I have to do that. I'll do that.
I want to know what you win.
I will let you know, but I'm not going to sit here in silence while I do that.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll get there.
Here, answer these questions while I plug it in. Connor in here asking, Kyren Williams still on my waivers. Do I pick him up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, depending who you have to drop, but yeah, any sort of PPR, he's going to be the pass catching back. And we looked at the schedule, pretty conducive to the pass catching back, right?
Yeah, I would pick him up. I'm not like expecting him to be a league winner, but you got to pick him up. He should be rostered. But Coop, you're right. It depends who you're going to have to drop. If you're going to have to drop would you drop Rachaad Bateman with him coming back to pick up Kyren Williams?
Bateman's coming back?
Oh no, he's not coming back, right? When is Bateman coming back?
I don't think he is. I think they shut him down.
I'm trying to think of a player that was
would you drop
holding?
Would you drop J.K. Dobbins
to pick up Kyren Williams?
Yeah.
I think I'm holding J.K. Dobbins because the upside of Dobbins coming back is higher than whatever upside I see for Kyren Williams in this Rams offense. But I get the other side.
Would you drop Dallas Goedert?
Yeah, I'm fine dropping Dallas Goedert. I feel like I can find replacement level tight end on the waiver wire.
Yeah. So Bateman had surgery.
So I'm fine.
Guess he could come back, but it looks like possibly if they were doing like a playoff run is when Bateman will come back. I don't think they're going to bring him back for the
Gotcha. That makes sense. I remember seeing a report that he would likely come back. I wasn't sure when that was going to be. Jeff in here had another question for us, Coop. He said, who should I flex this week? Josh Palmer, Marquise Hollywood Brown, George Pickens, or Patterson? Shout out Palmer from the Toronto area. Coop, which one of these four would you be starting?
Hollywood's playing? I don't trust it. That's tough. Now, do we know Mike Williams is playing?
We do not know if Mike Williams is playing, right?
The good news is none of these guys play tomorrow. So you don't have to force the decision until we know who's playing or not. But if Mike Williams is out, I'd be tempted to start Palmer. He's been playing really well. Otherwise, I would probably start Cordell Patterson.
No, it looks like Williams is going to miss the next 2 to 3 games is what they're saying.
I like Josh Palmer, man. So good.
I'm with you. If Williams is out, I think it's Palmer for me out of these options.
He plays every snap, right? And the thing with Pickens is Freiermuth has gotten like a 30% target share. And you know Deontay Johnson, even if he's not producing, is going to get his. So Pickens is kind of in a weird spot. He's kind of in a boom-bust spot.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Patterson, I just can't trust him. He's been buoyed by touchdowns the past couple weeks.
And Algier is playing more snaps on the ground than he is.
Yeah, there's just if you just look at his fantasy scores the past 2 weeks, you're fine with it, right? The kick return touchdown saved him this past week, and then the 2 touchdowns with 20 rushing yards the week before saved his fantasy week as well. Sucks because before he got injured, the dude was getting like 20 plus carries a game and killing it for fantasy. And he comes back and they're like, nah, we're going to use these rookies. Sorry, CP. Sit down.
Hurts. That's the way it is.
It does hurt. How are you viewing Patterson rest of the season? Like, is he startable?
I'm putting him in the same group that I put he's still in the same world, I feel like, as like Fournette and Rachaad White, where it is still kind of 50-50. You know what I mean? But hard to love it. If you have anybody that's playing 60 to 70% or more of the snaps, you got to go with that guy. Like I would start Najee Harris just because he's, Jalen Warren's hurt now.
Yeah.
You got to start anybody that you believe gets more than 50% of the job, in my opinion, over guys that are at that 50% or under mark, right? Because like Patterson played under 50% of the snaps 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, that's not the kind of guy you want to start. Tommy in here, looking at a prop for this weekend, one of these specials says there's a Devin Singletary 100 plus rush yards and Jamal Williams 1+ rush touchdown at plus 1,300 are the odds for that one. And the Bills are playing the Lions. So they're playing against the Lions, which we've seen recently may not be the matchup that we think it is for running backs. Like they have found some success stopping the run against some of these teams. That's not to say this defense is good, but they've been better at it recently than you would think. But Devin Singletary's been a monster recently. This is a game the Bills are expected to be up big in. And Jamal Williams, all he does is score rushing touchdowns. Coop, do you like this one?
That's why they call it a teaser, because you look at it and in your mind, the Jamal Williams touchdown is a slam dunk. And that's because it kind of is. It's the Devin Singletary 100 rushing yards. This isn't rushing plus receiving. Devin Singletary.
I think it's just rushing yards.
Yeah, that's the killer, man. Because Singletary has been kind of crushing in the past game. You know, he's had a couple of monster games on that side, but he has yet to have a 100 plus yard rush game. So you were betting he's yet to have a 90 yard rush game. So you're betting that this is his best rushing game of the season. And that's kind of a tough bet. It's kind of a tough bet to just say, okay, this is going to be his best game of the year. That's what you're betting. That's why it's plus 1,300. Like they're roping you in. They're pulling the rope-a-dope with that Jamal Williams touchdown, right?
They are because I saw that and I got excited. But you're right, Coop. That's a garbage disposal one. You throw that one in the garbage, guys. Coming up, we've got our friend Alex Korf, the trade daddy himself, Peaked in High School, creator of the almighty trade value charts, coming on the show to talk some trade values with us. You're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Better Sports Live with Rick Kamla. That's 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific on Better Sports Network.
Andy Reid is the best current coach in the NFL. He's better than Belichick. Belichick has lost his way. He's better than Tomlin. He's better than Harbaugh. He's better than Shanahan. He's better than McCarthy down in Dallas. He's better than all of the gangster NFL coaches right now. Sean McDermott up in Buffalo, he's better than all these guys. Andy Reid is the greatest gangster that we have at head coach in the NFL right now. And I understand that you're saying, well, Belichick is the GOAT, Cam. How can that be true? Now you're bringing up old stuff. Bill Belichick can't draft anymore, okay? Talk to me. Nick Chubb, Sony Michel. Talk to me. DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel versus N'Keal Harry. Okay, talk to me. This dude has lost his way. Remember the year when he should have bottomed out and just tanked, but he couldn't, and he went and got Cam Newton, and they were a mediocre team, right? He's lost his way. And not that he can't coach up a good defense and that kind of thing, but overall, he's lost his way. Andy Reid's an absolute badass. They draft great. He's a great coach. Makes the right decisions, when to go for it, when to kick, when to punt. The guy's the man.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com.
I hate the stupid unsportsmanlike conduct. As long as you're not disrespectful to the opponent, you should be allowed to celebrate.
How I used to say it, and to bring up, because now basketball's starting to bring up.
Oh, dude, it's even worse than basketball, isn't it?
So Dikembe Mutombo, who used to get teed up in the 2000s, in the 90s, they didn't give a crap. 2000s, though, when they tightened up the rules, they used to tee him up more when he did the Dikembe finger wag. But they wouldn't tee him up if he did it to the crowd, instead of looking at like Eton Thomas, like one time I remember, and doing it right to him, or when his back was turned, doing it right to him. If he did it to the crowd, they would never call it. And so that makes me wonder if these players, while, yeah, they want to talk a little smack, maybe they should flex towards the crowd than at the player who they're standing over.
I guess.
I know it's soft, man.
It is soft.
Because you know what?
Like we're gonna give 15 yards for that,
bro. They think that, you know, want to know why they're paranoid? They think that's gonna turn into a fight.
See, I disagree with that. That's not going to start a fight.
I agree with you. They don't agree with us.
It's one thing, okay, if you spit in someone's face or say something derogatory, like about their family or something,
right,
yeah, that can incite it. But if you're just like, yeah, I made that play, what? You know what I mean? Like, again, they know the rules. You got to know you're going to get flagged. You have to have discipline. But, like, I don't know. I have no problem with celebration as long as it's not disrespectful.
What's disrespectful? You know,
it's interpretation, and that's my problem. Watch, it's going to cost someone in a big playoff game, and that's when people are going to go crazy. There'll be a third down play. Someone makes a pass breakup, and they're in someone's face. They're going to throw a flag. It'll extend the drive. That team scores, wins the playoff game because of it. You need something drastic for it to really leave an imprint, and I hope that doesn't happen to mine.
Better Sports Network is betting, fantasy, collectibles. It's sports talk done better.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. Joining us right now is our great friend Alex, aka Trade Daddy, aka Peaked in High School. He is the creator of our favorite trade value charts, a contributor over at The Athletic, and 4 for 4. And boy, do we got some stuff to talk about with him today. Trade values are all over the place.
Baby, I got your money.
Hey,
Don't you worry.
What up, Alex?
Is that a trade? Baby, I got your money.
We need some backup. We need someone to get in there with him. Harmonize. Come on, guys.
Trade.
There it is. There it is. There's
That's right, dude.
That's right. I'll do the high part. That's usually my job, is to get the high part.
There he is, a trade daddy with the V-neck, man. How we feeling, dude? How's the shoulder?
That means the arm's feeling a little better, right?
It's okay. It's okay. It's just too cold to go to the gym in the morning, so I'm gonna go this afternoon. It's
smart.
They don't have a heater. Yeah, so it's like well, I mean, they maybe they do, but they leave the
right.
Yeah, like they leave the garage door open, so it's like 60 degrees in there or something. So like, I'm not gonna take my shirt off when it's 60 degrees. Like, come on, like I'm gonna wait for it to be 64. Like,
suffering is like
hard for that.
Suffering's a key part of CrossFit, right? You have to do like 3 reps of suffering before you leave the gym or something like that.
It's more than 3, but yeah, suffering is key.
All the ladies at the gym have been stuffing the complaint box. They're like, we need to shut this door, right? We need this shirts. We need these shirts popping off. We need the trade daddy. We need the trade daddy popping off in here.
Yeah, you should get the trade value charts each week tattooed on your chest and then just walk around shirtless. You can get those high quality temporary tattoos, have it ordered, 1-night shipping, and then you can just walk around shirtless and they're already looking at your chest anyways, Alex. Then they get the values as well.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
I haven't done it.
That might be too much value. That might be
You're right.
a little too much.
You're right.
That's the
guys.
next higher tier. Got to subscribe to that one.
That's Patreon members only, right? Yeah.
Guys, JL posted it in the chat over on YouTube, but Alex here creates the trade value charts that we love so much. Alex, you want to explain for people watching who maybe haven't seen these before how your trade value charts work?
Yeah, sure. So most trade value charts, they've been around for a long time. And a lot of them are kind of one expert's opinion on trade values, right? And they're very subjective. They're hard, and they're hard to do. Like just sit down and rank 150 players for just a season. It's not easy. So what I started to do is I started looking at an aggregate of as many experts as I can get my hands on. Because if you take a snapshot of that market, it gives you a better understanding of trade values. I then plug them into a model and break it down a little bit differently as well, where I'm writing in terms of the running back position. So a wide receiver in terms of a running back, a tight end in terms of the running back, all the way over to quarterback. Defenses as well, they usually don't make the list because there's just typically not any defenses or kickers that really matter. And this year is kind of the same way, right? Like it's not a 2017 Jags where those guys were just killing it. They made the trade chart in that day, but that's not happening. So that's where we're going. We're really looking at a market analysis to understand where we can start that trade conversation. And that's really the goal, is to start a conversation and then move from there.
And here's the beautiful thing about doing it this way is that you're very popular on Reddit, and because you provide great content, right? But the beautiful part is that people come in like myself and say, oh, Josh Jacobs should be higher on this chart. What the heck? You know what I mean? We're getting all upset. Yep. And then you say, I agree. You know what I mean? Because it's not your rankings. You're just creating a tool that reflects the real market and the real sentiments out there. And you can turn to people and say, hey, don't kill me. Right? Yeah. I'm just the messenger. I'm on your team. Whereas I post my rankings and they're like, Travis Kelce needs to be in a separate box from everyone else, even though you have him ranked number 1 on the list. You know, it's like that's the stuff I get. So I appreciate the way you do it. It makes for great discussions when you post that. So make sure you pop over after this and check out the discussion going on in those threads, because you can always learn something going in there, right?
And rankings and trades,
1,000 comments in there, and you can read the trains, and it's just people just yelling at each other, and so they're always interesting. They're fun. I spend too long in there, but yeah, like you said, I position myself very well to never. You don't ever really need to actually know my opinions on any players. That's not what I'm here to do. It's here to present more of a market snapshot. Like that's
really far more valuable than one person's opinion. So like I love these trade market values here. I'm just looking at week 12, 1 QB, 1 PPR, 4 point. Some big movers this week. Miles Sanders -7 points, moving down to tier 5. DJ Moore -9 points, moving down to tier 7. Latavius Murray +14. That's positive, moving up to tier 7 as well.
The Miles Sanders one.
Now, guys, I real quick. Surprising to me. Got to break a little bit of news real quick. Everybody out there listening, get your questions in the chat, your trade questions. We had a few earlier. Bring them back right now because we got the trade daddy here. But got to break some news because we talked about this earlier, how the Cardinals fired their run game coordinator and offensive line coach. And we said we had no info. We couldn't speculate, even though we wanted to. Now we have real info because Adam Schefter, his real account, double-checked this 10 million follower account, said that he was fired because he was caught on camera by the crew, by the actual Hard Knocks crew, groping a woman in Mexico.
Disgusting. Yeah,
and he was fired.
Glad he was fired on the spot.
Yeah.
Good work, Cardinals.
That makes sense. Fired before the game. Makes sense, right? I'm going through my head. I'm like, well, how is this guy going to get fired and sent home before the game? Yeah, send him home.
Makes sense. Yeah, get out of there. Piece of shit. Hope they made him pay for his own flight back as well.
He just tweeted it within the last 5 minutes. It's like, we got to break any news like that. It stinks to hear it, but we got to break it on the show. So anyway, let's get back to trades.
The Miles Sanders one was surprising to me to see it drop 7, but I think it makes sense because I feel like when people like recently buy into a player, they're like, okay, you convinced me. They're very quick to take it back. Know what I mean? Like, it's like, what have you done for me recently? And Miles Sanders was a player where it felt like the sentiment was changing maybe a little bit, but he didn't put up a good game. And so people are back out quickly. They're ready to give up on Miles Sanders. Like some players you're ready to buy in on, the general public. Miles Sanders seems like one where people are ready to dip out at any sign of turmoil.
I think it's not even just Miles Sanders. It looks like the entire Philly offense, they kind of lowered. Like AJ Brown went down. They lost, right? They showed that they aren't, going 17-0, 18, whatever, 19-0, whatever, however many games there are now. They always add more every year, and I don't pay attention. So maybe they aren't perfect. So it's maybe an overreaction. Like I would still probably have Sanders tier 4. I would have him up. I mean, Christian Kirk, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett range, right? Like I like him better than I like David Montgomery or Wilson or Najee right now.
I think it is an overreaction to those last 2 games, and we'll see it bounce back. He's definitely one where it just seems like very reactionary.
And these are the things that you got to take advantage of. And I run into this too with my rankings, is that when you're doing linear rankings, right, which the vast majority of rankings are, in the offseason, I'll do my yin yang rankings that are like try to encapsulate the idea of risk and upside. But when you do linear rankings, it's not always that you're moving Devonta Smith down because you don't love Devonta Smith. It's that sometimes you just have to move guys up, right? So people ask me like, why? They're like, oh, why do you hate David Njoku now? And it's like, I don't hate David Njoku. It's just that you have to move TJ Hawkinson up when he gets traded to a new team. You have to move Pat Freiermuth up when Chase Claypool gets traded. So sometimes these guys just get moved down because you have to move on.
It's kind of why rankings are not really the best way to describe what we're trying to describe here. It's why a lot of analysts prefer tiering, because it makes more sense that way, and you don't have that type of effect. Because it's really not just like, oh, it's always going to be this player over that player. Sometimes players are so similar that they're just in the same tier, and it's not real. There's not really an edge.
Exactly,
and that's why I added tiers this year too. To this first year that I added tiers, and the math behind the tiers there was a reason I didn't have tiers before. Let's just say that, like it was annoying. Now it's like that one. Yeah, and getting it built in and not the way that mine works is that like I do standard and I do PPR and then I average them to make half PPR. But then the tiers would average differently, so I had to write a bunch of code to like fix it to make sure that it getting too much into the weeds. But yes.
Yeah. No,
it broke my code for a while.
Makes sense. You're playing it right. But the thing is, so like you look at Devonta Smith and you see him now move down to the bottom of his tier, to the bottom of tier 6, but you still believe in him. If you look at any running back on the left tier, like if you're looking in the same tier, right, and you're looking at it and you're like, wow, these guys, in my opinion, are trending down. Ezekiel Elliott and Leonard Fournette. Like if you still believe in Devonta Smith, you can use this trade chart and say, hey, take one of these guys off my hands. I'll take Devonta Smith from you. And when they look at the chart, it's like, yeah, fair trade, right? But, that's why you got to capitalize on the sentiment.
Yeah.
One that jumps out because you maybe look down at tier 6. Do you think Keenan Allen belongs down there if he's back?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
not.
Yeah. I would put him in tier 5 at least, right? Like maybe even bottom of tier 4 if he's, because he played a lot, like.
Especially with Mike Williams missing the next 2 to 3 weeks, like as we're approaching playoff time, like Keenan Allen should be up there. I agree. I'd put him up in T4 with like Christian Kirk, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin. I think that's where a healthy Keenan Allen belongs on this trade chart, especially without Mike Williams.
How can you put Tyler Lockett in tier 4 without Keenan Allen in the tier? You know what I mean? Like you got to do it. And same thing when you look at tier 6, you see some guys they're trending down, right? Like Leonard Fournette, Zeke Elliott. Some guys in there are trending up. Devin Singletary, Rachaad White. Keenan Allen is on his way up. So if you can swap some trending down guys for trending up guys, that could make a huge difference down the stretch.
Absolutely. Josh Jacobs is one that continues to fall a little bit, and I understand he's been disappointing, but this feels like he shouldn't be down where he is on this chart. That additional 6-point drop, I'm still buying. Like, he's still getting all the work in that offense, is one of those workhorse backs. I don't think he belongs where he is on the chart, and I feel like I'm bringing this up each week whenever you come on, but he dropped 6 more points now. He's right next to Aaron Jones with basically the same value. I would rather have Josh Jacobs rest of season than Aaron Jones. I think he belongs up there with Alvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, like where he was before he dropped these 6 points.
Yeah,
I might take him over Jonathan Taylor. I'm gonna be honest right now. Like, why not? I mean, they're playing the same. I mean, I think Jonathan Taylor is more talented. I think Josh Jacobs is very talented, and he's getting the work. Like, they're using him like that, and his offense is the same level as the Colts, right? In terms of right, like they're both not good. Offensive lines aren't good. Like, what's the difference between them right now, really?
Jonathan Taylor averages 76% of the snaps. Josh Jacobs averages 74%. So when you say the usage is the same, it is the same.
Yeah, they both get a couple targets. A couple like
little trivia for you guys. Only those two guys are number 2 and number 3 in average snaps per game. Who's number 1?
Average snaps per game
at the running back
average percentage of snaps. So the average percentage of snaps per game they play, those guys are at 76% for Jonathan Taylor. He's number 2. Josh Jacobs is 74%. One player has more. Nope, Derrick Henry is actually at 65. Saquon Barkley. Barkley playing 83% of the snaps.
Hot
boy.
Hot for Saquon right there.
Hot pasta.
When you said that, I pictured Pam Beasley holding up the sign that says
hot. A couple of other interesting players is pretty much all the Cardinals receiving options, and Kyler Murray dropping down. Marquise Brown, tier 11. I think that'll bounce back. That's just wrong. That'll bounce back. Him coming back, where should he belong? And would you guys be trying to trade for him right now if your league mates feeling this way?
Now, is that trade for Marquise Brown right now? Do it,
Alex. Is that the case of some people just haven't updated their rankings to reflect him being back? Is that why he's there, or because that seems wrong? It does seem wrong.
Yeah. So I run it at about 6 p.m. the night on Tuesday.
Okay.
And I put usually an asterisk next to those where I look and I only grab rankings that are updated.
Yeah.
I still don't think all of them are updated, so I run it again at about 5 a.m. usually, and then I'll pull fresh and rerun it. So these are the 5 a.m. or whatever. So in theory they should be, and I'll truncate anything that looks funky.
Yeah.
But still, like, I think sometimes people start getting down, especially it's week 12, and people are down at player 120, and you just get kind of tired of ranking. You get kind of tired of doing it, and they're just like, it's probably fine. It probably doesn't matter. I think that's happening more in particular this year than any other year, where they've just, especially at the bottom, people are just like, what does it matter? Who cares? Like,
yeah,
I do.
I think when I do my tight end rankings, it's only so many guys. So I can sit there and type every player's name into Twitter just to make sure nothing weird's happened. But you're right. When you get down that deep, you're just like, get him.
I just thought it was interesting. We've got another player in a similar situation to Marquise Brown, like reports that they're coming back, right? But even further behind the Marquise Brown, Jamar Chase, they just announced he's off crutches and his value goes up 7.5 points. You know what I mean? Like they literally just said he's not on crutches anymore and his value jumps up 7.5. People leaving Marquise Brown for dead. So this leads me to believe that maybe there actually is that like lagging sentiment from the public on Marquise Brown, right? Because similar situation, we see Jamar Chase with the jump because he's coming back. Marquise Brown, we don't see the jump. DeAndre Hopkins is in that offense and has been killing it. Rondell Moore was killing it for them. Like maybe people aren't as excited about Marquise Brown coming back, and you might still be able to go out there and trade for him. I'm not saying tier 11 value, but it like the Jamar Chase movement gives me more reason to believe that this might be accurate on how the public is feeling about Marquise Brown, or closer to accurate than we think whenever we're looking at this.
Well, he has a bye coming up next week, right? Like
the Cardinals,
week 14.
Yeah, they got a late bye.
Yeah, and then if you look at their coming up schedule, there was part of the reason I think that maybe moving on from Connor is a reasonable choice if you can. They have like the Chargers this week, then a bye, then the Patriots, then Tampa Bay. Yeah. And so it's also just rough, right? Like, and then he's coming off of a foot injury that they thought he might have been out rest of seasons. So I can see some of the negative side of it as well. But I mean, I would still, if you could send a tier 10 or tier 11 player for Marquise Brown and then put him in your IR spot and have an extra bench spot, that's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah. If you could trade a player you're not using.
Sanders hasn't been involved in the passing game as he was in the beginning of the season. And then he has another trade that he wants us to run through. But it's a dynasty trade. Alex, are the dynasty trades on here?
Not on this chart. I do have dynasty trade charts.
Is it the Patreon?
No. Well, you can just go to my website, PeakedInHighSkool.com, and go to the dynasty tab.
Oh,
By the way, I have a website.
I'll pull those up. Sorry, Coop, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that like if I'm looking at my bench and I have guys that aren't cracking my lineup, I'll trade any of those guys for Marquise Brown because we're talking about a guy that for the first 6 games he was a top 5-6 wide receiver, right? So if I have guys I'm not using, and you talk about tier 11 players, those are players that might not even go in your lineup ever. I'll definitely swap one of those guys for Marquise Brown just to see,
Yeah. So are we looking at 1 quarterback or 2 or super flex?
I believe it's a 1 QB. I'm just going to assume 1 QB unless Jay tells us otherwise, but he traded a 2023 second-round pick for Keenan Allen on a contender. How's that look on the trade chart? So we were just saying Keenan Allen was lower than he was supposed to be, right?
According to the charts, it is super flex. Let me move to that. Let me move to that one. 2023
doesn't change it significantly. Yeah.
Okay. It's 2023. And then let me see. Keenan Allen. Yeah. Keenan Allen's valued at 26 trade value points. And the second pick spans basically from 19 to 28. Yeah. So that's absolutely within the realm of fair market value according to these charts.
And I made the exact same move this weekend. My 2023 second for Keenan Allen, and then let him sit on my bench. So good job. I actually love that move. He's not done. He'll be back next year. He's still good. He's not a fast guy. He's a clean route runner, and that doesn't necessarily decline at the same rate as like a super fast guy or super body guy. Like I'm excited for him next year too.
Yeah,
makes sense. Jail, I'm a little bit curious how our trade looks on this trade value chart that we made this weekend.
No.
We traded. I needed a tight end. Jail needed a wide receiver. I traded Kadarius Toney to him before the games for Cole Kmet. Got Cole Kmet in return. So I know the values have moved a little bit here, but I was pulling it up. Cole Kmet went up 6 points this week. Is at 7.5 trade value points. So he went from almost nothing up to 7.5. Kadarius Toney's at 5.5. They're both tier 9. Jail, looks like a fair trade. Looks like a pretty fair trade according to the charts right here.
Yeah, Cole Kmet hopping up 6 value points is interesting, given that he put up a dud. And I guess Kadarius Toney also only dropping a half of a trade value point, which I would expect that to be maybe more given the injury.
The thing with tight end sentiment is that I would expect many tight ends to move up in value. And when you look at the chart, it kind of looks like that's the case because when you're pulling names out, right? You're pulling Kyle Pitts out, you're pulling Dallas Goedert out, you're pulling Zach Ertz out. So it's like the number of available viable tight ends has kind of plummeted because when Kyle Pitts goes out, nobody replaces him. Zach Ertz is out. We're not moving Trey McBride that far up. Dallas Goedert's out. There's no replacement. It's not like Isaiah Likely just fills that spot. So I could see just about everybody kind of trickling up a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like basically everyone besides Dulcich moved up just because the scarcity, like he said, yeah, that's exactly right. Like it's not like, was it Felipe Franks or whatever on Atlanta? He's not.
No. Well, he's a quarterback that they just were like, just try to do something else.
Just do it. And Greg Dulcich is the 6th highest valued tight end on this chart. Number 6. So, Coop, to your point, like a rookie tight end who didn't start till halfway through the season has had some pretty bad games recently. He's put up some duds. Is number 6. It goes Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, TJ Hawkinson, George Kittle, Pat Freiermuth, Dalton Schultz, and then Greg Dulcich is the next one sitting there. Quite a big break before we get to Dulcich, but he is still sick.
I didn't like Dulcich against the Titans, but this week was a smash spot for him, and he didn't deliver. No Judy, bottom 5 defense. He's running the routes. He's playing 83% of the snaps. He should have had a better game. So I could see the sentiment go down because you're not going to get a better situation than what we have this week, and he was just okay.
What did you think of Logan Thomas? He actually seemed to be back in the offense this first game, right? First week that he was a part of it.
He's been out there, but first week he's actually gotten some targets, man. The thing we loved about Logan Thomas before is that he played virtually every single snap and ran every single route. And I'm talking before the injury last year, the first one, in the first 3 games, he literally played every snap. Did not come off the field one time, and he ran every route. The year that he was top 3 or 4, depending on your format, he led the league in routes run for tight ends, more than Kelsey, more than anyone. That's what we always liked. Now that he's getting back to that, I don't see what, like, I moved him up. I moved him way up. I think I have him fringe tight end, no joke, out of nowhere, kind of fringe tight end 1. Because, like, there's not many guys that are used like that. And Ron Rivera don't care. He'll roll them out there. He'll roll the same 11 dudes out here. Rivera don't care, dude. He'll roll the same 11 dudes out there until they get hurt. Like, that's been his style. And I love that for fantasy, even though I think it's bad for real life football.
Yeah, I think he was the guy that I was targeting this week because it changed. Something changed. He's healthy. He's doing something. And we've seen it before. So, like, he's better than a streamer this week. Like, he might be a viable option going forward is what I was excited about and wanted to pick your brain on.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. You're right on that.
And
the higher
we got our Hunter Renfro truther, a resident Hunter Renfro truther in the chat. Truly epic, asking, what defense would you start for week 12? Patriots D versus Minnesota, or Cowboys D versus New York Giants, or Eagles defense against Green Bay Packers?
Cowboys,
baby. Yeah, because I think all the teams have the chance to win, but where the real points come from are turnovers and touchdowns and all that. And the Cowboys, man, they are flying around out there, right? It's chaos over there.
Yeah, Eagles are not a bad second place.
Yeah. Trevon, the Eagles do it a little differently though, because it's like Slay and Bradbury are shut down. Trevon Diggs is like the new version of Asante Samuel, not the young Asante Samuel Senior, where it's like you feel like he goes for the interception every time. It's either a 60-yard touch. It's going to be a 60-yard touchdown for one of the two teams. Either he's going to pick it and score it, or the wide receiver is going to take it to the house. But I love watching that stuff because I don't care about the Cowboys, so I just want to see fun stuff.
Makes for a good product. Yeah,
I'm with you.
Product.
Yeah, that it is exciting. That's my favorite kind of player in
go
the
for
secondary.
Broke.
Yeah, go for it.
Another player that dropped a ton. It's DJ Moore. It's kind of expected, right? Sam Darnold getting the start here. I think people are finally giving up hope that we can get something this year with DJ Moore.
It's sad.
Hold one more week, right? Sam Darnold's back.
Yeah, you never know. He could just unleash Sam Darnold.
I mean, he's for sure older than he was last time he started, so maybe that helps. That's one thing I can say is he's been alive for more days since the last time he started on the football field.
Do you think he's wiser?
He probably is wiser at this point. Getting to spend some time in the quarterback room with PJ Walker probably imparted some wisdom on that dude. That dude has wisdom for real. Like PJ Walker, you could probably learn a lot from him when it comes to like work ethic and drive and getting it done. Like he goes to the XFL, tears it up over these guys that were supposed to be the stars of the XFL, right? Like he wasn't one of the highlight players in that QB draft. He comes out and he shows up and he says, yeah, well, look, I'm here. Then he comes to the NFL and he's a starting quarterback, probably the best quarterback on this Panthers team this season. Sam Darnold, learn a couple things from PJ Walker.
We love some Peach, don't we, boys?
We do. I'm a Peach fan.
Smash that fun button for Peach, dude.
Hit that Peach button.
We love Peach.
We love Peach.
We need a Peach button for sure.
Smash the Peach.
We need a Peach shirt. Let's get a Peach
you can get his jersey for cheap.
Paul Peach in the chat says, let's give thanks. Let's give thanks for Peach right now by smashing that fun button.
I am so thanks for Peach.
I'm so thankful for Peach. And I'm thankful for Alex.
Alex, you the man. You the man. Alex. I love these trade value charts. They're so useful. Jamar Chase hopping up 7.5 trade value points. He's expected to practice this week. It is unclear whether he's going to play. So that's a good indicator, right? Some Jamar Chase season. You guys trading for Jamar Chase. He's now at tier 3, 40 trade value points, right around Mari Cooper, Mike Evans, sandwich right in between those two guys.
I think you're probably too late to trade for him.
Yeah,
probably.
The only way I'm trading for him is if it comes out that he's not playing this weekend.
So you think he's right around this value?
I'll tell you right now, if you trade away Jamar Chase right now, you're a fool. Like, you're just going to carry that water for 3 weeks and trade him away, or 4 weeks?
Well, I was just like, if there is a team
That's true.
that is on that playoff bubble, needs a win this week, and Jamar Chase is announced out, that's when you trade for Jamar Chase. Otherwise, you missed your window. But look for that team that's 4 and whatever number goes with 4 at this point in the season, 4 and 7. Look for the team that's 4 and 7, 5 and 6. and see if they have Jamar Chase on their team. And if Jamar Chase is announced out, send some trade offers if you can handle it. If you've got the room, if you've got the record to do it, that's where you go trade for Jamar Chase. Otherwise, I think the window's passed, man.
Would you trade Aaron Jones for Jamar Chase?
Yes, right away.
Trade Joe Mixon.
Simon says, get real predatory on your struggling league mates.
Yeah.
Be the vulture that's looking around.
What,
like, hey.
what about Kenneth Walker? Would you guys trade Kenneth Walker for Jamar Chase?
No, I don't think so.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it depends on your team, right? If Kenneth Walker was a guy you literally got on waivers, which happened in some leagues, and he is your running back 5, which is absolutely possible. I literally have a team where he's a running back 5. Like I have to choose between sitting him, Barkley, Dalvin Cook, or someone else this week because I can only start 3. Sure, I would send him. But most leagues don't have a team like that. Like that's not real. Like,
yeah, you're not getting the Kenneth Walkers, man. And the thing that at the end of the season, we do this every year where we're like, I'm going 0 RB next year, and then the team that wins wins your fantasy league is the team that has the horses, that has the Alvin Kamara scoring 6 touchdowns, or whoever comes out has monster games like
CMC.
You go like Todd Gurley that year, like you go back through history, and it's like, and then we all, then right after the season ends, we're like, did I say 0 RB? I meant hero RB.
next year,
you guys misheard me.
Did I say what, dude? What?
That's hilarious. It's a hilarious way to look at hero RB is just like just like an out for 0 RB.
0?
Dude, they're wrong.
I said Robert De Niro RB.
Next year, I'm telling you guys, it is going to be the year to draft robust running back, to draft running back early, because everyone this year is all pissed off about the running back position. They're upset about the top guys. You're going to be able to get these guys a little bit later. I think we're going to see more people trying to go 0 RB next year. We're going to see wide receivers drafted a little bit earlier. And I'm excited because I've shifted away from early running back recently just with how people have been drafting. I'm excited to shift back next year. I have a feeling we're going to see more wide receivers going early.
Oh,
excuse me.
Well, you want to go back to so let's say you are that 4-7 team with Chase. Would you Chase for T. Higgins? Right now, you are 4-7 and you have to win. Would you do it?
I'm not putting that evil on myself, bro.
Yeah, I'll do it. You're not used to being 4-7. Yeah.
No, I'm saying I'm not that I'm not used to being 4-7. I'm 4-7 in a lot of leagues. And I was 4-7 in our hypothetical league yesterday. It was
oh yeah.
It was killing me. But I'm not putting that on myself, dude. Like I'm already taking so much responsibility for what's happening to my teams that I can't be the guy that traded Jamar Chase for T. Higgins straight up. And then everyone's like, hey, why did you give Steve Jamar Chase? You know what I mean? Like I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't trade a guy I think is worse for another guy right now like that. Not on the same team. That is just crazy. That's a crazy scenario.
It's a 1-for-1 bet. Yeah, you're just. I don't like those types of trades, but I was thinking the same thing. Alex is like, if you believe that Jamar Chase is better than T. Higgins, value, like he's going to provide more value for the rest of the season, then technically Jamar Chase is still a value, and you can still trade for him.
I'll lose with Jamar Chase on my bench, bro. I can't do it, dude. It's hard enough to trade one wide receiver straight up for another one. Now we got to trade.
Yeah, it was tough. Yeah.
Best friends. I mean, like.
So if you need that win, I think Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are close enough that you can make that move. That you can plug T. Higgins in to your lineup. Like if you need that, you're not going down like multiple tiers. You know what I mean? Like these guys both have top 12 wide receiver upside every single week, even when they're both on the field. Like I get it. Don't hear what I'm not saying. Jamar Chase is the player I want over T. Higgins. But if I need a win this week and Jamar Chase is announced out, he's not playing, you can do it. Yeah, I'd be comfortable doing it. That's a move you can make. But man, Coop, it is tough to your point. That's a tough one.
Jamar Chase is averaging 20.2 PPR points per game. T. Higgins averaging 13.9.
13.9. So there's a decent drop off there.
Yeah,
but you're right.
But I think you make a great point. Yeah. You have to be able to sleep with it at night. Like you're the guy managing your teams. I answer a million trade questions, not a million, but 100 a week. And I'm like, at the end of the day, you're the one that has to go to sleep and wake up with this team.
It's your responsibility.
I'll tell you right now, Simon, what you said makes 100% sense, but I will be the Egyptian king here. Put all my jewels in the sarcophagus with me I'll lose this week. Go 4-8, and then Jamar Chase is coming with me, dude. I can't do it. I'll sacrifice my season. Can't do it.
I hear you.
Jail. What are you doing?
But I'm not a loser, so I wouldn't do that.
I lose. Happily lose. Me and Chase. Jail. What are you doing? Back against the wall.
I'm just not making the trade. Whichever side I'm on, I'm not making that trade because it's a wash for me. Like one of those sides is going to pan out, and it doesn't really strategically help me either way.
But no, I think you're missing a key part. Like Jamar Chase will not play this weekend. Is like in this hypothetical scenario. So you do get an extra
we don't know
out of T. Higgins.
Right.
We don't know if he plays.
Yeah, we don't know if he plays. There's uncertainty, but I'm saying it's outweighed by the fact that I think he'll outscore T. Higgins later on in the rest of the season. So that's what I'm saying. It's close enough that it balances out that like I'm not going to try and like grind that edge there. I'm going to find an edge elsewhere.
I guess in my mind, if I lose this week, it doesn't matter if Jamar Chase outscores T. Higgins the rest of the like literally, like it doesn't matter that rest of value because if I lose this week, I'm out of the playoffs. Like that's how I'm viewing.
T. Higgins puts up 2 points, you might lose this week. Like it's not
okay.
If it's like an upgrade, yeah.
Like to say, like T. Higgins always has that risk, but at least he's on the field.
Look,
you know what I mean? If Jamar Chase isn't on the field, it's 0 no matter what. If he's in your starting lineup,
if you don't start anybody there instead, then yeah, for sure.
We had such a nice, friendly, smooth show, and then Trade Daddy comes in
right
here.
At the end.
Trade Daddy comes in with this trade hypothetical, tears us apart, tears this.
And I don't even have a stake. I don't even have a horse in the race. I'm just like, I'm not making the trade.
Yeah. I can say it makes sense on both sides. I can't do it. Can't do it.
Yeah, but that's what makes it fun, right? Like I agree with both sides. That's what makes it fun is that trading is tough. It's fun.
And it's fun.
Hey, find a way to get both sides of this trade.
Yeah.
We had a question.
Send Aaron Jones and get Higgins. Yeah.
We had a question here from George. George wanted to know, should I stream the Minnesota defense, the Indy defense, or the Chicago defense this week? So we've got Minnesota. Who's Minnesota playing this week? It's on Thanksgiving. They're playing the New England Patriots. The other options, the Chicago Bears are playing the New York Jets. And then who was our third option we were looking at there? Indianapolis. The Jeff Saturday led Indianapolis Colts are playing
Monday night versus Steelers.
That's right. They got the Steelers on Monday night. So which way are you rolling? Not the highest tiered defense options right here. Alex, which one of these would you be rolling out there?
Give me the Colts.
The defense, like I said, not good offense.
That they're probably they're probably the safest. And I don't like the other ones, to be honest.
I'm the Colts. I'm in on Colts. Kenny Pickett has thrown one touchdown pass over the last 3 games.
Yep. Colts.
Yeah. I think it's going to be the Colts as well. Alex, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on with us today, my man. Always a pleasure streaming with you and talking through the trade value charts.
Yeah, it was great, guys. Good to see you again, Coop.
Yeah, I'm back, baby. Good to see you too, Trade Daddy.
Guys, if you are not following our friend Alex on Twitter, go and follow him on Twitter at PeakedInHighSkool. That's school with a K. And then check him out on Patreon. The link is in his Twitter bio as well. You get early access to these charts plus some other goodies. Alex, we will see you next week, my man. Enjoy your Thanksgiving.
You too, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Guys, we will be back tomorrow and Friday morning, 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern time, streaming on Thanksgiving, giving you guys all the news that you need to know. So make sure you come hang out with us tomorrow on the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show from 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern time, and then come on back on Friday. But stay tuned here today. There's a full day of awesome programming. You have got Moose and Keith up next, followed by Lunch Money presented by Fantasy Guru, then Corey Nando and friends right after that, there to answer all of your toughest fantasy football questions. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, though, adios, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Ow.